Check, check, check.
Check, check.
We live. We live, people. We live. You live?
I'm live.
I'm alive. That's all I know.
Rolling one right now.
Yeah, and I don't even know what I'm smoking on. E's and B's. What I'm smoking on. That's all I know.
Cap junkie.
But we took a couple bowls out there on Limpy's lookout. Some weed. So we actually were both in the same state last weekend.
Yeah.
But
never ended up running into each other.
Never seen each other.
Both flagging races.
Yep. Yep.
I had to pretend to be Limpy.
They were all like, "Where you at, Limpy?" And I'm like, I'm 2 hours fucking south of where y'all are at. I ain't,
Yeah, they were like, "Who can flag?" I was like, "Well, I can flag. I know how Limpy does it, and we'll just do it like he does it." But man, I'll tell you, I don't like holding $16,000, knowing that like if any fuck up happens, they're just all going to be screaming at you, trying to make a decision on if they crossed or who finished where, or if there's a jump. So I got to tell you, man, that's a lot of pressure. I felt like
that's a little stressful, but if once you have your eyeballs glued, and then you got a camera that you can rely on that knows that you know how to work, everything's pretty simple. And then there was a couple of jumps. We actually showed somebody. Where was that? No, that was the other race. That was the race, but we'll get into that as well later on. But it was a good weekend. Did not expect what happened to happen. I ain't gonna lie. And for all y'all crying on the interweb and this and that and the other, it was a stage set up. It was this and that and the other. It wasn't staged. They ran the same exact race in November, I believe, or whenever it was, February. I can't remember.
everyone knew what they were going down to.
Yeah, it was ran the same. It was no burnout, dry burnout, and get down. And I don't know what they're going to change up for the next one, but it is what it is. And I mean, them guys were rolling.
It sounds like Manuel said he'll only give them water, and they're wanting wings and external weight taken off.
I don't know. Well,
hold on. It's now grudge racing. Grudge racing with Stips.
Yeah, we can ask this guy down right here. Oh boy.
Woo.
Rips wheel drive. Yep. Y'all. Hey, what y'all did was just nullify yourself from ever entering small tire. That's all y'all ever did. That's all y'all did.
You definitely made some people want to cry some more.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun.
That doesn't surprise me, Tommy.
Congratulations, and the truck looked like it was fucking flying.
Yep.
Thank you. It was. It really was. We put in a lot of test practices here in Austin on the street. Even went down to Houston and practiced with Manuel, and he helped me understand the chassis really well. So picked up a lot of time really quick.
Quick. I heard that you said a personal best ever pass. Is that true?
20s. Is that what you said?
No. I heard that you said a personal best ever pass you made out there on the backside.
On asphalt, yes. On asphalt, yes.
Correct. I heard 20s.
Yes, oh yeah, I was seeing your.
I heard like 26 or something. I don't know if that was first round, second round, but
that was actually first round, and we didn't actually change the tune much. All I did was just compensate for the extra heat during the day. Just added a little bit of fuel here and there, but that was it. I didn't really want to mess with the 60 foot. I didn't want to do anything with that because it was working. So
yeah,
but
it definitely looked like the straightest the trucks ever went.
For sure, absolutely, and it's been that way since we've been testing for a couple months now. Yeah, sure, I'll take that. It's been getting straight, and a lot of that has to do with Manuel helping me with, thank you, helping me with the chassis. You know, I found something up front that I felt like we were doing wrong with the front four link, and he helped me dial in the back four link, and get the wheel speed under control too. So I was trying to leave way too aggressively, and he helped calm me down there. I'm like, no, you need to leave this way, you know. So we got the wheel speed under control too. And the four link changes, especially the front four link change, came kind of late in the game, and it changed a lot of things. And a lot of people think that the truck's tapped out. I didn't have time to test anymore going faster because it was right before the event, so I left everything the same. But I feel like we're gonna fly next one, like really go fast.
So are you thinking about any front sides too, or?
Well, yes, I want to. So the diesel series, ODSS, they have a diesel series. I've been doing that for years, and their big Super Bowl is UCC, Ultimate Call Out Challenge, and I really want to go to that. So in order to do that and do that successfully, I've got to kind of rework my truck, like, you know, all the shock settings and possibly a four link change. I don't think I'll have to do anything with the four link, but the shock settings will definitely have to change because the weight's all going to come off. So I'm going to have to test for that when it's, you know, when it gets a little bit closer. So that would be the front side stuff. But as far as front side small tire, I've been doing that. I did it 3 weeks before this race at Little River and just made a swing at it and blew the tires off. So my truck's I just need testing on the front end. I've been 490s at ODSS last year when I first built the truck, and the truck weighs about 3,900 pounds, and it's capable of doing 450s or better. There's a truck that's heavier than it that has a similar power plant, makes the same kind of power. He went 441 at 172, and I feel like my truck could do that, but I'd have to actually go do it, which takes, you know what it is, you know how it takes a lot of testing, and probably a blown motor or two to try to figure it out, but because that's really pushing it. But so that's legitimately what it's capable of.
So manual helped you a ton on the rear four link. I noticed you must not have got any help on like the sick memes and videos.
No,
dude, you might have to like ask Manuel for some help on that, because that has been some of the most hilarious shit I've seen in a long time.
He is the king of trolling, and if I had half of his trolling brain, that would be wonderful. He's God tier for sure. Trolling that bit where he went in and bought the 16.
The Plan B shit. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, that was amazing. But the video, like the amount of work that went into that video, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen that amazing of a troll ever. Like, just ever. Like, that was amazing. Like,
I think it's his best yet for sure. Absolutely.
God dang, it was unreal. Like, they went to videos that are like from like 2018 and stuff. Dude, just God, if you make any of those videos, you know how crazy that was. That was just some of the best.
Yeah. And the leading up to it, he was kind of quiet. So he played his hand just fucking perfect. I know him and Joey were doing jabs at each other and stuff, but but god dang, dude, that fucking that Plan B fucking shit killed me. I fucking almost lost my shit.
Well, dude, so Friday night, I was talking to the Tabers and they're like, we're testing, we're probably gonna run manual. Well, I was down there with my family on vacation, so
Wednesday night.
I ended up running out there, and Manuel ends up getting 16 grand pot, but 8 grand from the Tabers. And then you guys bet another 16, correct? With the all wheel versus rear wheel.
That's right.
I think there was there was a side bet.
And then
right?
how much money did you lose by throwing it?
Oh yeah. So I lost $3,900.
And what
3,900.
What do you think happened? Like people pocketed it, or it just disappeared?
Nah, I don't want to accuse people of pocketing it, but I couldn't find any. I went and looked twice, and I couldn't find any more. So, oh
What
boy,
I missed?
I think
What I missed? What happened?
I think
They get some gas money.
Yeah, I think I was just being generous and helping people out with their gas money. I'll just put it that way.
I must have missed it. What
But
the hell y'all
I
talking
really
about?
I
Let me know,
wasn't
Chad.
thinking. I did not think of the wind blowing it. I thought it would fall right back down, and the wind.
They got
literally
him to
carried
throw
it.
the money up.
Oh, he threw the money up?
Yeah, and it carried it over the fucking trailer, like gone
I know,
with the
because
wind.
I was over there smoking on some good stuff, and I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, he could have been down $4,500.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
God,
No, I didn't
you
account for
throwing
the
the money in
wind.
the air and the wind blew it or something?
The wind blew it like 300 yards away. People they got in their
Holy
cars and were driving through the field trying to find $100 bills.
Holy fuck!
It was pretty bad. It was pretty
Has they
bad.
got video of this?
It was pretty badass.
Is there video of this?
Yes.
I gotta search for this.
Yeah, I think on Cletus's, right? Or 1320 might have a video of it. I think 1320.
Yes, I believe they both do.
Yeah, I think
believe they both
1320.
do.
So you've
Maybe
had a
that's
beef
it.
with Beater Bomb for a while, am I correct?
Yes, yeah. I guess you could call that because
I did.
it
Give
started.
us a rundown on that.
Well, it started in the street way back in the OG Cash days when I was, let's see, when was that? That was like 2 years ago, I believe, or 3 years ago. And I almost ran into Beater Bomb. And I just had too much in the tune. I didn't have the truck figured out. And blew the tires off and went sideways and almost hit him. And that was no big deal. I even went over and apologized and was like, hey, I'm sorry for coming into your lane and everything. But what rubbed me really wrong was the fact that I had a couple of guys came and helped me because my regular crew was out of town with their families. And so I had some new people. And those new people didn't really know exactly what was going on. And they screwed up a little bit with taking too long with the burnout. And Joey's team went off on them and just started yelling, screaming, hollering at them to hurry the fuck up and everything, and rattled them. They lost their minds, couldn't even think anymore. And Dan had to step in and help me back up. It was wild. So I kind of got an attitude over that, you could say, I guess. And he didn't really care about it, kind of just mocked me over the whole situation. So I went to ICC, I want to say a year later, and made a fool of myself trying to race him on the front side of the track. And didn't have my nitrous on, probably was nervous or whatever because I was racing Beater Bomb, and forgot my nitrous off and didn't even go anywhere, didn't even leave the line. And so that was an embarrassment. Drove 16 hours to do that. So that just ticked me off even more, but that one was my fault. And so it just kind of led from there. And that's one of the reasons I called him out first round. No disrespect to Joey himself, but I did want to beat him first round there. But he wouldn't accept my call out, which is understandable. I understand why they didn't.
Yeah.
But, petty, stupid stuff. No real anger.
No, we're just curious. It's fun. It's like Manuel. It's all fun. Most of the drivers seem to take it pretty well. It seemed like a lot of the fans that were super rooting for their guy were a little bummed out. So I saw him.
That's exactly what it is. Because you know, after this, I know we joke about us getting banned, but I think War in the Woods is allowing on the front side up
front side I
there,
have no
and
problem with. Front side's no problem.
yeah, yeah. I think until there's like, you know, a complete domination everywhere, I don't think that there's an issue, in my opinion, because the number one handicap in all of drag racing is weight. And I weigh almost 4,000 pounds. With me in it, I'm over 4,000 pounds. With any kind of weight on it, I'm even more than that. So they can call it a pro mod. It's a tube chassis, yeah, but it's still extremely heavy, and it's still got full cab. It's all steel. You know, it's got the fiberglass front end and everything, but the whole cab's steel. And it's even double wall steel. So I didn't cut out the double wall on the inside, because when I had my wreck at 1320 or at Little River a year or so ago, that cab saved my roll cage. It saved me. It took a lot of it. So I put the same cab on there and kept it pretty thick. So the cab itself weighs quite a few hundred pounds. It's not fiberglass. The cab isn't. So
Yeah.
And the engine, this is a cool factor. The engine is not billet, and it has water in it. So I could drive that truck. If I put a radiator on the Turbo 400, I could drive that truck anywhere as long as I wanted. I could go to like a drag and drive. That engine's got water fully in the head, block, everywhere. It's not even partially filled.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing about that motor.
Is it true also that you have 6 kits or something on that thing?
I have 5, yeah, 5 kits.
Ah, God,
Yes, sir. And 5 kits, and on a no prep pass, I can't pour the nitrous in quick, obviously, but I'm still doing about 4 to 4.5 pounds of nitrous in one pass on a no prep pass.
Damn. God dang.
And then on front side, like at UCC, I'll probably try to do. It'll probably be closer to 6 or 7 pounds, because I'll turn them all on in like 1 second.
And just let it eat.
Yes, sir. So the tuning is real simple in that regard. You want to just go ridiculously lean. So you want to be above 2.0 lambda, or equivalent to about 28 to 1. And so if you add fuel, you have to add a ton of nitrous to keep that lambda. If the lambda goes lower than that, like around 1.2, 1.1, something like that, it'll just melt everything down. So it's kind of the opposite of a gas motor. You want to go ridiculously lean, and that's why you don't see any smoke, because I'm so lean. Man, that sounds good.
I still remember back in the day when it took you forever to get up on boost, like way back in the day, even before the Joey incident. I mean, even back then, you got it on pretty quick. But
it's such a crazy lambda.
And you know, it gets crazier than that. So the fire pump boys, they're running the radial stuff. They're in the 3-second range with their diesel, and they said they saw at 1.40. I think they said like 45 to 1. So the leaner the better. You can't get them too lean.
When does it get to a point where it runs away?
Well, the running away is not a lean issue. The running away is more of an oil.
Okay.
So a lot of times the turbo seal will bust, and it will start. They're cooled by the oil, so it starts pumping oil through the turbo and feeding the engine, and so now you can't shut it off because you've got
so it's burning the oil instead of fuel.
That's right. So you can cut everything off, but it just keeps going because of the oil.
Yeah.
So that's what happens there. In the old days, you had the old mechanical pumps that could run away from you, but that's with the electronic common rail nowadays, you don't have that issue. So they don't. So there's it. So the running away of my engine would not be a fuel related runaway. It would be most likely oil. So from the turbo, most likely, but sometimes it can suck it up through the pistons or some other way through a valve or something crazy. But
weren't you the one
yeah,
that didn't wasn't your diesel that blew up on the was that yours or was that somebody else's?
On the dyno, the big blow up?
Yeah,
that wasn't mine. I have not had any catastrophic failures as of yet.
Nothing like that.
So,
I mean, that was extreme, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was. He had hit right at about 2,900 horsepower, if I remember right, and then the top came off, and it came off. It separated in the center of the block, so it separated the transmission at the same time and blew transmission parts all over the cab. So it was that was that was serious. Oh yeah. And then there was a similar incident on the racetrack on the big end. It short shifted one of the trucks, and you want to shift these things really high and keep them out of the low torque RPM range because that's what splits everything. And so it short shifted. His big kit came on, or three of his big kits came on, and it sent the top of his motor through the hood and about 20 feet in the air and almost hit the racer in the next lane. So since that, if you see my engine or any of the other diesel engines, we have a big cable or two all the way around our motors so that if it does separate, it can't go through the hood. I guess that's that 80 to 120 psi that'll do it in low RPMs.
I was going to ask how much psi you would run on a. What's the difference between like a backside and a front side? I'm sure 3/4 versus full.
So you broke up there for a second, but I think you asked if there was what kind of boost numbers.
Yeah.
Right now with the turbo that I have on it, it's a little bit smaller of a turbo for no prep. I'm seeing about 70 pounds full tilt. And then I have a bigger turbo, a Hartz, that I use for front side. That'll make infinity horsepower. That's a 94 millimeter. And I can see about 60 to 65 with that. And it makes a fuck ton more horsepower. So it's more about volume with that turbo. And that's why you'll see a little bit less PSI with it, but it's more horsepower. So
gotcha. How was that drive? How was the drive down?
The drive down was great. It was actually so good that we just drove straight through. I was going to take 2 days to do it, but it came about midnight, and we were like, "We're feeling good. We're going to go win." So we just kept driving. We got there about 5 o'clock in the morning. Left at 6 o'clock in the morning. Got there 5 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, that's what everybody said. I've driven it before. It's about 19 hours to get down there.
It is, especially with a motorhome, for sure. But man, talk about an incredible opportunity. When Manuel said you need to get ready for the next one, I don't know if y'all saw me testing, but I was like, I am not going to be a first round duck again, like I was the first time. So the first time, I really wanted in. Not the first time. I want to say the second time. I believe it was. Yeah, that was the second time, because the first time they had it, it was Manuel and Cletus and them, and then the second time, a bunch of my buddies, or a couple of my diesel buddies, were invited, and I really wanted to be invited because I'd done a lot of street stuff, but I wasn't, so it was fine. It was no big deal. But then somebody dropped out last minute, and 23 hours, if I remember right, it's 19-20 hours to get there. 23 hours before the driver's meeting, Cletus said, "Get in your truck and get here," because they had somebody drive out. And I had no testing. I had the giant turbo on it. I didn't have the little no prep turbo on it. So I literally called my team up, Josh Cole and Cody Nushka, and said, "We're leaving now." I loaded everything up, jumped in the deal, and drove straight there. We had 2 blowouts. So we missed the drivers' meeting, but we made first round. And I kind of blew the tires off on the line, overestimated the surface, and was first round duck. But it was neat. It was still great to be invited. And I was determined not to be a first round duck again when I was invited back. So I feel like the reason we won as a team, because there was a lot of really close races, believe it or not, was because we did not take the other side lightly at all. And I think they did. I think they took us lightly. And so they showed up, not tested.
Yeah, I think a bunch of it is just it was the mentality of, oh man, we do this every weekend, so we got this. But and I totally didn't see it going the way it did. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't. But after a few,
I didn't either.
After the first few passes, I'm like, I don't even know if these guys actually, some of them really even worked harder. You can tell that some of them did, but some of them, I'm not naming names. I mean, they all made licks, but it just wasn't.
Well, like I saw a couple of them testing in front of the, until we got yelled at by Victor. I don't know if you heard about that one. So Manuel is Manuel causes trouble, man. I'm gonna blame this one on him. He told me to get out there and test. So we're all out there. Gringo's out there. I think Jose with Houston Street Monsters went out there, and then I make a lick down the road right in front of the Freedom Factory. And I'm sitting there going, well, Manuel's telling me this, to do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust him. So I do it, and then I come back, and Victor's yelling at them, telling them, you're not supposed to be doing this. And then anybody that does it again, the next person that does it again is disqualified from the race. So yeah, we got chewed out pretty bad. So that's when we went down the road 30 minutes and went testing down the road. But I saw a couple of guys from the 2-wheel drive side later in the night testing out there, and they were pouring prep and they were pouring water at least under the tires. So they weren't even testing the 2-wheel drive burnout dry. That made no sense to me at all. None. It was like, you're not even practicing what's going to be anyway. That caught my eye, that they were using water to do their burnout, and that to me was not what they were supposed to be testing. But what do I know?
No.
It was good. And then that night, the night before, Gringo $8,000 race there in the streets.
Yeah.
And that was on
prep. Flagging.
Yeah, I flagged it.
What's that? Oh,
so
yeah,
that
flagged it.
That's right. I wouldn't come up too hard to flag that player.
But and then that was in the rubber, man. There was a lot of rubber down on that spot.
No, so, I'm pretty sure they both poured for that one.
They did.
Yeah.
You're right, and I believe even the lanes were heated, I think.
Yeah, there'd been some test passes out there before. Both made test passes.
I know. David and Chris. I think that's a new build. I think they.
Yeah, that's a new build, and they were leaking training fluid really bad.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, man. I don't know if I could cough up $8,000 knowing I was on a new build. But
I mean, I seen
those guys. They love. I
seen what their draggy time was on their test pass, and it was pretty damn fucking fast. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they were rolling. They had a training leak pretty bad, and I think they got some of that on their tire. I'm not saying that would have changed the outcome, but
yeah,
they were fishing through some things. But kudos to both of them for manning up and racing. Like, who gives a fuck, win or lose? That's badass for both of them to pull up there and go for it.
That's
in
right.
another state on a road neither one of them have really been on more than fucking their test pass or whatever. I don't know. I thought it was
Definitely
pretty
gangster for
gangster.
sure. Yep.
What
Yeah.
Richard says, fuck them. So I got just a weird question. I need your worst strip club story.
There we go.
Lord.
That's a much better question.
Oh, that's actually a good question. All right, I got one for you. So Waco. I was doing a job up in Waco a long time ago, and there was this hole in the wall strip club that the project manager wanted to bring me. He was this kid. We were both kids, and he brought me there, and then so we start throwing money around, and then afterwards, so we were talking to one of the girls and told the girls what we were doing afterwards, and she said, "Okay, well, we're off here in a little bit. I'll meet you outside." Well, we're all excited. We're outside. We're waiting on her. Here she comes, and guess who's walks up right behind her? The dang bouncer grabs her and brings her back inside. So we didn't have no fun that night. He was like escorting her. I think that's my worst strip club story. I think that's got to be it.
A stripper had an escort to the street race or to the out. Damn. Okay.
No, my favorite part of that story was learning that when he threw that money up, were you imagining you were back in Waco?
Oh, boy.
Oh man.
Because I'm telling you, luckily the bouncer pulled her back, or you were about to lose another $3,900.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Oh boy. Yeah. No, that was interesting.
I was driving a Pacifica minivan that we rented to go on vacation.
Bam. So you got sponsors? Anybody you can shout out to?
Oh yeah. So first and foremost, it would be Truck Source Diesel, who built the truck. There's no blueprints to these things. You have to do it from scratch. You have to come up. The cage obviously is a certain cert, 25.6, but the chassis you have to do what you think is best. And those guys knocked it out of the park. The thing went through a wreck, and all we had to do was cut the front end off and redo the front half.
Good deal. Oh, did he lose up? He freeze up?
I think we might have lost him.
Oh, he froze up. Well, man, he might come back. I don't know. Ed, I don't know. I don't know what. What's up?
If you don't, congratulations to Nathan. He killed it.
Yeah.
The truck looks like it's running better than it ever has and going straight, which is awesome. And it'll be fun watching him all year. I know that he's not banned on the streets in Texas, so look out.
There we go.
There he is.
Oh my God, he's back.
There he is. You get a call?
For whatever reason, I can't hear anybody.
Oh boy. Is it an iPhone? You gotta.
Don't be razzing him, Limpy.
No. I think
I'm just joking.
There used to be an iPhone.
There we are.
Okay. Check.
There we are. Sorry about that. Got a phone call.
No problem. So we got we just got your chassis. That's all we heard.
Yeah, you were giving us your sponsors and people you want to thank.
Yeah. So Truck Source Diesel, they built a chassis and they did an amazing job. There's not really a blueprint for that, so they knocked it out of the park for what it is. And Nitrous Outlet, we've got Hot Shot Secrets, who makes all the oils and the lubricants for everything. They're awesome. D&J Precision Machine, who helps me with my motor. Like after my wreck, I pretty much chopped the top of my motor off because it flipped upside down and skidded across the road. And I sent it to them, and they just put that back together for me. And they're just awesome people over there. And let's see who else. Midnight Performance. They helped me with getting my chassis straightened out and making sure that the 4 links were set correctly, weight bias, things like that. So yeah, And I'm actively looking for a title sponsor to put on literally on the side of my truck. I'll redo my whole wrap. And I'm looking outside the diesel world because the diesel guys extend their necks so far and support all of us already. And I'd like to look outside of that group and try to bring in some money from the outside. And so far, this is a really big win. I mean, I feel like it's one of the bigger wins this year, maybe the biggest win this year. And at least for me, for sure. And to bring the spotlight to the spotlight to the diesel world like this, I think is awesome. Diesels make a huge power. They're heavy. So I think we could get some people really excited about diesels and get more people into it, which makes a more diversified field of drag cars, which then brings in more people to the drag world. People like diversity. They don't want to see. I know personally, growing up, I liked watching fast cars. I liked watching pro mods. I liked watching even NHRA, all that kind of stuff. But after a while of seeing the same people, same 10 or 15 people race themselves over and over and over again, it gets a little old. It's still interesting, but it gets old. And I like seeing diversity. I like seeing a truck go against a car, or a crazy car with some sort of bar hanging off the back going against an all-wheel drive Lexus or whatever. I think that's cool as can be, seeing all of the different things, because you just don't know what's going to happen. And so it puts you on the edge of your seat. And instead of going, oh, well, they're going to be close and so will probably win. That's kind of what happened, I think, to No Prep Kings, is same people racing over and over and over and over and over again.
That's what, you remember way back in the day when I used to do the list racing. That's why I would do the list for who was going to the cash days. And it just got boring. It got boring. Everybody having to race each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh. Same here in Austin. We had a top 10 list here in Austin, and it kind of fizzled out. And I think that's the same reason. It was the same 10 people racing each other over and over again. And it just kind of, it gets old. I'm kind of crazy. I try to race everybody and everything, so I look like an idiot sometimes, but that's my style. I want to race everywhere. I want to have fun. I want to mix it up. I mean, you're probably going to see me at a radial prep track at some point, trying to go real fast.
Yeah.
Just because, but right now it's all about no prep and seeing how fast you can get a high powered vehicle down a super slick surface. Yeah. And I'm all about it.
Is Cletus trying to jump on with him, Limpy?
He's trying to get on with us. I sent him an invite.
I was going to say, let him jump up here with Nathan.
Yeah. Well, I texted him. He texted me, and I sent him an invite, and then he texted me. He's like, which page? And I said, your personal page. So.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Nope.
That would be awesome.
What up, fellers?
Hello. What's going on, brother?
Hello.
I was just doing Joey's, and everyone was commenting that you guys were on, so I figured I'd say hi.
We do Monday night. We get high and tell stories.
What's up? Yeah, how are you guys doing? Everyone good?
Way good.
Cool. I thought this might be a good opportunity to chat a little bit about this week. I know that's what you guys are doing, but I wanted to get in on it.
Oh, you cheated, man! You cheated.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Congrats on the win, and really loving all the comments about you throwing the cash, Nathan.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I should have done that. I know I apologized to you afterwards.
Oh, don't apologize to me. I thought it was awesome.
I kind of got caught up in the moment there, and Manuel's a really bad influence.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Dude, he's been on the troll stuff this week.
You've been talking to the guys about rules and stuff, or heard anything, or what are you thinking?
No, we can jump right in that. So what are you guys thinking about, maybe changing it up a little bit or not? I think just add the water. All I heard was these guys in their burnout, which I'm a rear wheel drive guy myself. I would say just give them water. I know they're wanting wings and external weight taken, but a lot of them had wings and external weight. I know I run stuff like that. So
yeah, I would love a rule that just applies to everybody versus specific classes having one or another. And I'd be curious to hear, Limpy, your opinion too. What do you?
I think you did it this past week or this. I mean, everybody had the same. Everybody could have showed up. I mean, other than the rear-wheel drive. I mean, other than that, but everybody had the same opportunity.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what we could change. I mean, I know they were trying with the jacks, trying to get some rear-wheel drives to do burnouts. I don't know
but do you think there needs to be something done to level the playing field a little bit, or what is your thought?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe water. But if you let them do water, then you're gonna let rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive do water.
Well, I guess the question I have is a lot of you had data on it, and I'm sure you guys were sharing data with the team, or if you weren't, mistake.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
either way, do you think them having more data and having water down so they can not have to drag a jack across the track if they don't do it correctly to do a burnout, would that even it up some?
Yeah, I think, although what happened is exactly what the all-wheel drive guys wanted, which we took them in the first round, and then they were kind of in a tough spot. And I think, but looking back on it, like Houdini was at my door round one, right? And a lot of these rear-wheel drive dudes were right there. Now they've got data, and I do think that we should give up water for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that it could end up really close,
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's really hard to say though.
And then people were talking about, the rear-wheel drives couldn't do a burnout, and I was like, well, I mean, you had a month to figure it out.
I think Charles was the first one to pull up and do the jack burnout, and I was like, when I was sitting in my truck and he did that, I was like, I'm screwed. This guy knows what he's doing. But I've been thinking, I just want it to be as good a racing as possible. So I'm open to opinions.
I think just water. I mean, you keep everything the same, just water.
I think just water and them having extra data, and as long as they're going to be sharing it with each other as a team, I think they're in good shape.
Yeah.
And I know Charles and Jared, they share all their data because they're teammates. So
well, I mean, Jarrett turned around the following day and beat the purple truck on a backside in OSW.
With water and believe it or not, that you probably know what the backside of Orlando looks like. So it's pretty rough back there too.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the guys, the rear-wheel drive guys, they've only asked for water. So that may be the ultimate solution, is just everyone can have water. Obviously, the trucks don't need it. Us all-wheel drive guys don't need it, but it'll just be a blanket rule.
You got to change also. You can't just sit there and you don't want to do ruts so they can't hold it too long. Or you
can also back it up.
Yeah.
I'd say too, congratulations, because this is all everyone's been talking about for 3 days. So way to put an awesome event together.
Thanks.
Way to have everyone paying attention to drag racing again, all fired up.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying, and I appreciate, everybody's help. Limpy and Nathan, like you guys obviously are a big part of it, you two specifically on this one.
I took it very seriously, and I really appreciate you putting it on. I really do. It's something else. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. I look forward to doing the next one for sure. We just got to dial it in, decide who's going to be. I think Joey's on the fence about being in charge of rear-wheel drive right now, but I think he's coming around.
When is the next one?
October 1st.
October. I need to put that on my calendar.
Yeah, because that's the week of our big FL2K race. So I'm kind of.
Oh, you're doing like you did. Was it?
Yeah, that's how we did it last year.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Because then a lot of these guys who travel so far, like I want them to have the opportunity to race more, so then they can at least make a trip and run in the event that weekend too. So.
Are you doing it on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
A Wednesday on that one? No.
Yeah. I was thinking about this too. I was thinking about having a big dinner the night before with all 32 racers. Do 16 rear-wheel drive across from 16 all-wheel drive. We get this big fancy dinner, and we just see what happens.
Yeah,
You've always got such good ideas.
So,
Thanks.
quick question. So,
I like
if a
it.
car would have showed up rear-wheel drive with dualies, would they have been DQ'd? Because we actually had one show up last year to Uncaged, and we let them run.
maybe like 228s on
Because
the back of
it wasn't in the rules. It just said 28, 10, 5. It never said how many. And all-wheel drive was allowed. So, like, how is it really that different?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Because it was the first thing we thought of because we know someone who's
How'd the
done
guy
it.
do? How'd the guy do?
I'll tell you what, he made it. He made a round or two, didn't he?
He went 4 rounds, and I don't want to be that guy, but that car had no business going 4 rounds.
Oh yeah.
So, like,
Yeah,
he was hooking that good over everyone else.
That's
It was pretty
very
impressive. He just ran out of power once the surface got fast enough.
So let me
You know
ask
what
you
I'm
this
saying?
then. So then, can I do that on my truck?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
If
I'm
he's
just
allowed,
asking,
if we're allowing 6 tires, then I'm going to run 6 tires. And I know Wheeler's going to run 6 tires.
That's right. That's right.
But where would you put them? Back or front?
The back.
Back.
Well, I mean, hell, there's no rules. Show up with 8.
I think that might be a fair thing to add when we add the water is a 4-tire maximum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that you bring it up.
But that only happened once, didn't it?
Yeah. Damn, but I do love like stuff like that when it happens. I think it's awesome.
It was cool when he showed up. That's why I said we voted and let him race.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, that's awesome. You know, maybe I would want to see that one time.
I don't know if I'd want to flag that because I'd have to see the lug nuts.
They hang out a little bit.
The way they were bolted to the car.
Yeah, I'm sure it was sketch. Well, cool. I just want to hop on here and talk with you guys real quick. Appreciate it. You guys helping out and being a part of it. We'll lay out some minor adjustments and run it back October 1st.
Can't wait.
I heard it there first, people.
Cool. All
See
right,
you there.
thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
See you later.
All right, guys. See ya.
Later. That was pretty nice.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
People, all y'all can leave now, and just the regular people.
Yeah.
Boy.
Appreciate them jumping on.
Back to the boring show.
My viewer count did double, so. But we appreciate it. Y'all like, subscribe, comment down below, whatever y'all YouTubers do. I won't do it no more. I'm just a live guy now.
That's awesome.
Way good job this weekend, Nathan. That was fucking awesome to watch. Like I said, everyone's talking about it, and you were the baddest man that weekend, so that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
It does.
Do you tell people what you do for a living too? Are you a diesel performance guy?
I am not. I am not a mechanic at all. I am a carpenter. I'm a carpenter through and through. So yes, sir. Yeah, no, I do crazy things like this. I made that entire machine.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, that's sweet.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's kind of rough, but yeah.
That's a shrink wrapping machine, all made out of wood. It spins and you send a piece or pieces of wood or a cabinet through it, and it automatically shrink wraps it, cuts the shrink wrap, everything for you. And all you got to do is just push one button. It's got conveyor belts. I 3D designed, and I have CNC machines, and then took my 3D design and CNC'd all the pieces and put it together. So I'm kind of crazy, a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But I do cabinets and I do architectural millwork. So my bread and butter is architectural millwork. So if you go into these real big, fancy, multi-bazillion dollar mansions and you see all the fancy woodworking, the ridiculously fancy woodworking, like the spiral staircases and coffered ceilings and all that, That's what I do. And then the cabinet side is something that I'm kind of ramping up and hopefully get it much bigger as the years go by. But I've got a cabinet shop here. That's actually what I'm in right now. And I've got another cabinet shop in Waco.
Do you have a website or anything that you, or a a Facebook page that shows any of your work?
So I have a Instagram page, Crazy Horse Carpentry, but I have not had to. I've been blessed to not have to advertise or even have much of a presence online because I cater to builders. So I don't work with the homeowner themselves. I work through a builder or multiple builders. So
yeah, you're like subbed out.
That's exactly right. So I'm a contractor for these builders, and so I'm not having to go out there and beat down the doors for all this work.
No, amen. You don't have to deal with the public,
right,
which is the worst possible
that's
thing
right.
in the world.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. So and they don't want to work with me, which I don't blame them. You know, these guys don't have the time. They don't have, you know, they don't even know what they're doing. They just got a bunch of money. And so they go hire out their house to the appropriate, you know, administration, a builder somewhere. They actually usually go get an architect, and then the architect finds the builder. But sometimes the homeowner can go find their own builder too. But usually it's through an architect. So if you can make real good friends with a really high-end famous architect, you'll be set real for a long time. So that's what we do. We do high-end, you know, no budget type woodworking. So
I'm looking on your,
and it's worked out well. I was homeschooled. I grew up in a community. We horse farmed. We didn't farm with tractors. Almost all of our food was out of our garden. Very similar to the Amish. And
wow, so you actually never get sick and will probably live forever.
I very rarely get sick. I don't know if I got COVID or not, and never got the shot.
Amen.
Yeah, so never gotten any shots really, actually. So
I don't know if y'all can see that.
But that's just there you go. That's beautiful. Yeah, that was a big barn out here in LaGrange area, and I did the handrail on that and the treads.
It's nice stuff right there.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing. That's out of my budget. Thank God
It's out
you
of
don't
my
got to deal
budget
with
too.
some broke ass dude like me.
Well, you know, it's out of my budget too. You know, they like, how does that saying go about a carpenter's house is never done or something like that? So yeah, that's me. I when I come home, I'm like, oh, the hole in the door, I don't care, leave it alone.
All right. What's up next for you? That or is that UCC or whatever, or is that a little later on?
I haven't decided to tell you the truth. I can't so I really I feel like I have to go to UCC because that's my people. I got to go represent. But that's the same weekend of War in the Woods. And War in the Woods, they just allowed all-wheel drive. You don't know how conflicted I am over that. I don't know what to do because I want so bad to go to War in the Woods.
What I would say is I would show up to War in the Woods. That's a one-time experience. Like even just going to watch is probably the better idea.
Well, the other thing is I've got to call out on one of the guys. I didn't call him out. He called me out, or one of his buddies did, and I accepted it at UCC.
Tell him to switch it to War in the Woods. Look at those comments light up. War in the Woods. War in the Woods. Bro, you know, I even get to park everyone, so I'll get you a spot. If you show up, I'll get you a spot at the bottom. Promise.
Well, my team's saying the same thing. They're on your side. They're telling me to go to War.
If they're on here watching right now, don't leave him alone. Tell him to just pay the punk out money and come to War in the Woods. The dude just threw away $3,900 like he was in Waco. War in the Woods.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I wish I had known I was going to do that because if I was going to lose that because I wouldn't have thrown it.
I'm sure, dude.
This
You
guy
could see,
right here,
like,
this guy's comment right here. This guy drove all the way from, it's car from Washington State. So, and
that guy had one of the most incredible, if not the best round wins of the entire event. He's wild. Steering that thing. Did you see the in-car video? His steering wheel is going like 180 degrees back and forth like this, just to keep that thing straight. It was wild. Rowing with one hand over here. And I could not believe when somebody told me that he beat, who was that? Jarrett, right? Jarrett with Team Denver. Oh
Yeah.
my, I couldn't believe it.
yeah,
I just couldn't believe that.
when Cletus beat Patches or Charles, and then he beat Jared, I was like my chin was on the ground. I was even like,
yeah, no, that was honestly the moment that. So I guess we could like say it now that all the video's out. You know, I was like in part of this group chat that's sharing every single race. You know what I mean? So we're watching them, and as soon as I saw Patches lose, I was kind of like, all right, you know, Cletus is going to be fast. You know, he was testing there. And then when Bradshaw lost, that's just like you said, Lippy. I was just like, oh, fuck. Oh, wow. Oh, God. Like, you know,
who
Ryan
was
wasn't as
making licks
crazy
was
because
Andrew.
Brian,
Andrew was making licks now.
And white girl.
White girl, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me real excited switching to a coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I bet that's one of the guys that was probably testing.
Oh, Andrew tested a ton.
Andrew tests a lot.
And he just seemed like he had it figured out.
No,
and he was
I guarantee.
You probably didn't notice, but he was doing his burnout like way, way back there, and he was kind of rolling through. But
getting into the more slick stuff probably.
Yeah. So he was doing probably about a 20-foot burnout, but he was 40 foot back. So
yeah, out of that sticky. You know, as the day went on, that starting line got sticky. It surprised me.
It did.
I didn't want to change. I didn't want to change my tune because it was working, but boy, howdy, I feel like I could have clicked off some really good 60s on that, which is what I'm going to aim for next time. But it was, and I was trying to tell Cletus, I had to get a word in there, but my knee's still hurting from jumping so high off of that 3-foot wall or whatever, that secondary wall. When he beat Charles,
I had to get a step ladder.
Oh man, it was crazy. I leaped off of that thing as high as I could, and my knee still hurts.
And that thing's about 4.5 foot tall or something. It's just high.
It's up there.
It's about a foot higher than my ass, so I'm like, I can jump out there. No, God,
oh boy. No, that was incredible.
I can step on that first step and then climb up on that thing.
Yeah,
that's something. I mean, if it's 4.5, 5 foot tall, and I don't know if it's 5 foot tall, but it's probably 4 foot or more.
Yeah, it's probably close to 4 foot. They're up there.
They're gonna have $100 $100 bill trees.
Shouldn't have jumped so high. got a little excited. What did he say?
He said $100 bill trees planted out there at the track.
Oh my, dude! It went for hundreds of yards. Literally hundreds of yards. I think they got a car out there trying to look for it in the field.
That's so crazy.
Absolutely wild. It was a neat day. You said it didn't go the way you expected it to go. It didn't go. I didn't expect it to go that way either. First and foremost, I didn't think I would be able to get around Gringo. I just felt like I didn't have enough testing, and I felt like he was testing just as much as I was, so he was gaining ET just at the same pace I was essentially, and I didn't feel like I could get around him, but I was going to try my best. And then Team Denver, I had a lot of respect for them and a lot of respect for Joey and KC Max, but I knew I had to call them out first round to have a chance. And so whether it be confidence or not, it's the best move to make in that situation. So, because I mean, Casey Max made the best bet. He went a 4-0 right off the trailer, no data from that spot. Like you were saying, some of these races were really, really close. I think Sexy Red was pretty close to in his race within like a truck. This is all time that I think that they could. It was close enough to where I think most of them, even without water burnout, could be right in the ballpark with the times we were running this year next go around.
Yeah,
I think so, because they're that good. These guys know what they're doing. They've got traction control. They not that the F-150s don't, but I don't, at least as of yet. But they're good. I respect them. I think that they were the best in the country at this type of racing, and but I think they underestimated us, and I don't think they'll do that again.
yeah.
I think the next one's going to be a heck of a lot closer. Yeah.
Definitely.
But we're all going to test too. You know, they're going to test really hard. I'm going to try to get better. Gringo's going to try to get better. Those
Everybody's going to be
F-150s
faster the
have
next
out.
time. So it's who's going to be.
That's right.
It's who's going to be the faster.
That's right.
I love
Because-
it.
That's right.
Like I
None of
said,
us are tapped out.
the best
Because
thing
it
about
was a good
is-
race. I mean, it was all of the
Everyone's
races were pretty fucking close. It wasn't like y'all were running away with it.
They really were. They were very close. More of them were close than not.
Yeah.
More of them were close than not. And there is one thing you got to throw in. We only had 15. So this one of my diesel buddies that was going to come blew his motor up within days of the event. And hopefully we can get him in on the next one. But he blew his motor up. This guy is very good at no prep. He's done it a ton. But Manuel, his backup for that guy, apparently couldn't show up for whatever reason last minute. So it was 15-16. So hearing that immediately, I started getting a little nervous. I didn't try to show it, but you know, in the driver's meet, I was definitely nervous for sure. Trying not to show it. I hope I do a good job of that. But it was like, man, we're up against the best. I mean, you Beater Bomb, Casey Max, Charles. You know, Charles is on fire right now. Just absolute fire. He goes everywhere and wins. Both of those guys do.
Yeah. They've definitely got that.
They
They've definitely got that backside stuff figured out. I mean, the worse, the better.
For sure.
I mean, and no matter where they go, they've got shit figured out. They've got tunes for everything.
And I've been watching their videos and just been going, golly, that's going to be hard to get around them, you know? So a lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah.
Whether I talk shit about them or not.
I love it.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome October 1st when they send it back because, like I said, everyone's talking, the shit talking both sides. I love every bit of it.
That's a fact. That's a fact, Ed.
It brings an interest to it. You know, if you've got a boring race, like somebody was saying, I can't believe you threw that money or something, and I joked with him and said, well, you know, I don't want to be boring in the winner's circle and be like, act like, oh, I always do this, you know. Yeah, we did good today. You know, I mean, you got to show some fire. You got to be happy for what you did. So I'm not going to change that part. I may not throw the money up as high before, but it will get thrown again if I win. Just maybe not as high.
Fuck it. You're gonna make
Maybe
sure
it's
you're
not-
not to catch it.
It's a tradition now. I mean, we have to do it. It's been done at every one of their races. So I think whoever wins the next one's they're obligated. And I'm going to be standing downwind. Don't tell anybody, but if I
Well,
don't
that's
win,
what I
I'll
was
be standing
doing.
downwind.
I was down there waiting. I was waiting because there was an accident that happened out there. I don't know if you heard that in the pits.
No.
When we were
No.
down there, we were cleaning up on the start line. You know, putting our load in our truck. We heard like a 2 or 3 second skid mark, and then a boom. And I'm like, oh,
wow.
that's not good at all. And then that apparently Care Flight landed into the spectator parking, and then they had to transport that, and then the left. So that took a minute,
Wow.
and then I went down there and waited on that, and I was downwind. I was smoking, actually. I was smoking a little something, and the wind was toward y'all, so I waited to light it, and it shifted. So I'm like, all right. So then I fired that bad boy up. You heard?
That's crazy. I didn't even know that happened. That's actually
it was like
pretty wild.
100. It was like probably like an 1/8 mile right past the entrance to the track.
Wow, that's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Speaking, so was this like before the race started, or?
No, it was at the end. We'd already finished.
Wow.
You didn't see the
That's
helicopter
wild.
come rolling in, flying over?
I did see the helicopter roll in. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, that was
part.
Fairfly.
Yes.
I was like, damn, somebody already bringing Cletus his copter.
What do we think? We approve?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
It's
Oh,
actually pretty. It's actually pretty good.
What is it?
I don't even know.
You don't know what flavor?
I don't even know.
It's
No.
a hybrid.
I like your style.
It's good though.
It's a hybrid.
So yeah, I'm a carpenter. I don't know if you know this about carpenters, but
But they're stoners.
But
Oh,
they
I know.
smoke weed.
They smoke weed.
big time,
So do drywallers and roofers and framers.
dude. Why do you think that's another reason why we never get sick? Breathing
No,
in
I
all those toxins all the time.
100%. I 100% believe in that.
I do
If
too.
y'all knew what my what's your immune system called?
Your immune system.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
in your blood deal. But if y'all knew how low mine was right now, and all the shit that I do, I'm around all the people and stuff without
all
a mask
the
on.
time. All the time.
And if you knew how low my shit was compared to just where I need to be, where I am, y'all be like,
Yep.
But yeah, I smoke weed, so guess what? Fucking, that's what happens.
Hey, and
these two pins made it to Florida and back on the airport.
Nice.
Oh, and that's another thing, man. I was at the airport 13 hours last night or yesterday. It was bad. Yep. It was like as bad as that street race I went to the night before. It was that bad. It was bad. White blood.
Dude, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
That pass where that guy like went by him at the finish line coming the other way.
Dude, I thought he was doing a second burnout. I thought he was doing a second burnout. And I was like, oh, he's doing a nitrous burnout. Because I was seeing the flames coming out from underneath. And I'm like, oh. And then he went by me because I was about 100 foot out. And I was like, holy shit. And I turned around. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you?
That was
Casey
wild,
Max going off the end of the track too.
Yeah.
So he goes flying past me. I'm about to turn off, but I'm waiting for him because I know he's on the inside lane. And he just comes flying past me, skids sideways, and slides right off the end of the track.
Shit. I know. Yeah, I thought he said he just went in and then he fucking fired it up and then drove right out.
Yeah. It wasn't that far off the track. He just slid right off of it.
Yeah, you can't see shit from where we were at down there. You couldn't even see after they top that hill and then go down. You can't see nothing.
Well, I got 4 big TBMs all the way around on my truck, so I was able to get it stopped. But it's a short shutdown, and so it was definitely like I still had some speed in it as I made that last corner. So, but
you already got your first fan.
He said he was free lemonade, awesome. So he said that he was so flabbergasted that I just beat him that he forgot to get on the brakes.
Yeah.
So he said I was sitting there just starry-eyed, just going, what in the world just happened to me, and forgot to get on the brakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you forget about it for 50 feet past the finish line, you're
rolling. That's why I said, man,
you're going to be in a little trouble.
many street races I go to, and I'm like, man, y'all like actually the road that we were racing on Saturday night is short as fuck. So if you're not on it, it could get bad quick.
Yeah, it's 150 miles an hour plus to compete in small tire now in most street races. So, that's pretty fast for a street. That's definitely fast. Might not be big tire fast, but it's fast.
You guys have amazing streets down there.
Yes, we do.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. We do.
You saw what we run on, Limpy.
That
like
one road ain't
Cleetus
that bad though, but it's just not that great. But it's just not that bad. It's just not that great.
It's not that bad. It's a great road and a great spot.
But it works for y'all. So I mean, y'all have adapted.
Yeah, we love it.
And that's why if y'all come down here and y'all run that, y'all be like
half track.
Y'all probably won't put enough in it because
you want 5 more tenths in that tune-up. But I've raced Hartshorn, so I'll just put the Hartshorn tune in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. That's true. Hartshorn's pretty quick. Yeah,
I want to do the pad at some point.
The lemonade is at Warren Woods.
It's coming up.
Warren Woods lemonade guy. Kurt is.
So he's going to be at Warren Woods.
Yeah, I think he's the lemonade guy.
Yeah, it's some of the best lemonade you'd ever have in your life too.
And
you
I hope
get
you're
it
not
in all
diabetic.
sorts of flavors, and they throw real lemons in it.
I love lemonade.
Yeah, it's made with lemonade. That's lemon, freshly squeezed lemons.
Yeah, I mean that seals it. Warren the Woods. It's Warren the Woods.
And then you can come in the night before and we do the smoke. We do actually the table on Thursday night. And then we all and my boy Big Stank on here, he rolls in, and then Jasper and them roll in with some stuff, and we
got you covered.
See, I may have to do that.
Chuck rolls in with some Chuck on tilt rolls in. Ed E's and B's, my other sponsor, he rolls in with some I mean we got stuff covered.
Oh, I love it.
Oh wait, do I have that? Do I still have that picture of you on the?
You're gonna have to say that again. You broke up.
He's looking for a picture. Oh yeah.
Oh my.
That's Warren Woods.
Oh my.
How much was that, Jasper?
A pound.
A pound.
Oh my gosh. See now that's the real deal right there. Wow.
I'm telling you, Warren the Woods.
Oh my. That's the way we be looking.
Oh
wow.
God.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I look like Beasley there.
Yeah, there you go. Zach. Old Zach.
Yeah. He's my brother.
I should know this. What state are you from, Peter?
That's Jasper.
I'm Jasper. I put a different movie character up for a name every episode.
Gotcha.
Where?
Michigan. Oh, that's awesome. I have family up there in the UP.
Yeah, it's all right.
UP's
very nice. Yeah. We snowmobile up there.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. We go up there every now and then to see the family.
Yep, it's quiet. Not a lot of people.
Real cold.
Cold.
Mm-hmm.
So cold.
Y'all are really talking to me into this War in the Woods thing. Which would be, the only thing that's handicapping me here is the fact that I'm got to go punk out. But what I can do is I can try to move this guy, his race to like their next one, which I believe is in August.
Where's he from?
That. He is from Ohio, if I remember right. He's from Ohio.
Warren Woods.
There you go.
It's like we ain't gonna be too far away from each other.
He won't do that. He wants me to go to his arena, and he's going to try to come around me or try to beat me on a sticky side of the track, which is fine. I get that, but
Ziegler.
Yeah, it's Justin Ziegler. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's the guy.
Chris Lane.
One of his buddies called me out and was like, "You need to race him." And so yeah,
So we need Chris to talk to Justin and tell Justin to move it to the next event. Chris, help us out here. Talk to your boy and tell him he's got to come to War in the Woods. He got talked into it. He can't change it. And
he'd rather go hang out with some real people.
Oh yeah. So what's
or tell Justin to show up to War in the Woods.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen.
And it can go down first pair down.
I'm always going into everybody else's arena. So come on to War in the Woods. We'll have it there, and we can have a rematch
It'll be
later
neutral.
on his turf.
It'll be neutral. Y'all won't need neither one of y'all.
Neither of us have been there. Exactly. There you go.
It's not
perfect
slow.
idea. What's the? It doesn't look slow at all. What is the rule on external weight? There.
There's no.
Do we know?
There's no rules.
I think there is. I think you can't have.
There's no rules.
I don't know. I don't know if you can have it past external weight past the body line. I think you can have a wing and everything. I just don't know if you can have. I don't know. I'll have to ask Jeff.
I don't know either, but I don't think I need it because of how good that track is, and I'm going to test without it before then. So, but I just wanted to know. I've got the truck set up with it now, but I'd really, to tell you the truth, rather not have it on there.
Yeah.
And I think I can make the truck.
You won't need that body part.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with you. So I'll start testing without it regardless. And because I've got a top end here, Little River top end, I think is similar to War in the Woods. It's got a lot of rubber down now, and I'm gonna go out there and test. Y'all get me excited. I'm gonna go out there and test. I'm gonna pull this bar off.
Well, okay, so I'll give you some advice that some people have told me that have ran both. It's very similar to Yellow Belly.
Oh, okay. I've been to Yellow Belly.
So what about just test at Yellow Belly and you should be in good shape.
There you go. I can do that. That'd be awesome.
And then the atmosphere would be similar.
Y'all are going to see me start testing at Yellow Belly and sharing half of my draggy time.
I don't have any power is why I'm in my truck. We had a big storm come through and it took out a bunch of power lines. So all the family's staying at grandma's and I'm going to stay here because if it comes back on, I just don't want anything fucking up. So.
Oh, shit.
That's why I'm in the truck.
God dang, Manuel. Shit. I just seen that. Well, maybe that's why I'm bad because.
What Manuel said?
What did he do?
When he said, Manuel said, what a gay post should be like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you see the text he sent him right after that post? He sent him a text, said, yo. And he answered, he was like, what's up? He was like, just checking on you and making sure you're okay. God. That was it. It was like at midnight, in the middle of the night. I mean, the guy is a menace, and I love it, and I'm all here for it.
Damn. And Joey
it is great. Dude.
Joey used to be this bad back in the day. Joey was that bad back in the day, but you know what got a hold of Joey? Age.
Kids.
Yeah.
Age and kids. So
yeah.
It was.
I believe it. I don't remember that side of Joey. I just remember this. So, but I believe it. It's great. It's hey, it's good for business. It's good for business.
Yeah. We need to get Roger on here since what's going on, Roger?
Hey, no, not much. I'm just sitting here listening to you guys going on about it. I know that I'm going to have to come check in on some of these races this year. War in the Woods, that's the one in southern Indiana, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Brown County. It'd be an
Brown
awesome
County,
ride
yeah.
down for you.
I need to get that because my son and I have been talking about going down on our bikes and touring some of that Brown County and down along the Columbus River or the Ohio River. And just, there's some really good riding down there. But to couple that with a War of the Woods race, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Nathan, Roger is a seedseller.com. He's up in Michigan. He's one of the sponsors, and we bring him on every week. They grow weed and talk about weed and
we seeds. We sell seeds now. I used to have a dispensary, but when the laws changed in 2018, I got out of it and kept on with seeds. But I've got a great crew, good customer service, get you the seeds, and they'll help you find something you're going to like. They'll just talk to you. And so if you're looking for anything to grow right now, we're starting a little experiment. I've got 2 autoflowers that are 5 weeks old now, and my God, are they starting to bud? Oh, and
already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They start flowering in 3 weeks. And that's what I love about them is they're so freaking fast. And then I just started 4 more, 2 different strains, 2 each. And so we're just doing a little testing on it and trying out some different things to see how we can improve the yields and how different breeders' autos compare. So yeah, it's fun to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. So
are you in Michigan too?
I am. I was born and raised in the Upper Peninsula. And so, yeah, I know the cold. I was hearing you talk about the cold and the snow up there. I know what that is. And big
That's
time.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
Roger has a bike too.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. I just
He has
live
a bike that he
north
rides
of the
all over the coast and stuff.
Well,
That's
I'm sorry.
awesome.
So anyway, yeah, we right now in Jackson, we're just north of the Indiana-Ohio line in Michigan. You straight up and you hit Jackson. So,
Gotcha. That's awesome. Yeah, I got family in Escanaba.
Yeah.
So.
Escanaba in the moonlight, eh?
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Yeah. When I was in high school, we used to play basketball against the Escanaba, and it was in the spring. And anyway, I ended up with a appendicitis. Had my appendix taken out, and I came back to school, and so I'm all bandaged up. And what happened? God damn hoods and Escanaba. Got in a knife fight and got stabbed.
What?
Yeah. I don't think there's been much of a knife fight in Escanaba in a while.
Richard's high right now. He can't say nothing. I can't say what Richard said.
Took a crazy turn.
Oh. Yeah, Nathan, he has a touring bike where he gets on and he goes and rides around all kinds of stuff. And he has a 4-inch cot that he sleeps on.
It fits in my puff tent,
You thought I said the other one, didn't it?
So like a motorcycle, a touring bike?
Yeah.
Ducati.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a sport touring. I have a BMW.
Or a BMW.
S1000
Oh, wow.
XR sport touring.
Those are very nice.
Been averaging 15 to 17,000 miles a year on it. And it runs great. So I just bought a new seat for it. Actually, my wife gave it to me for Christmas after I ordered it. And what else did I just go? I just got some little lowering for the legs, for the footrests, to lower it about 1 inch. So that'll make it a little more comfortable. But my seat,
nice.
I found it made by Sargent Seats, and you send in your base seat and they just reupholster it. Well, one of the issues on that seat, the way it was, you're sitting on it like a bicycle. Well, if you're touring, you might be sitting on it like a bicycle for a very long time, and things kind of get numb. And yep. And so this new one I have has pads on each side and then a groove up the middle to give the boys a little more room. So should be. I'm looking forward to getting out on seeing
much
how
more
that
comfortable.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, lay down, boy. Yeah, it's okay.
Have you heard of a Honda Fury?
Honda Fury. I don't follow a lot of bikes.
I don't even know if they still make them.
I've always been a BMW guy. My first bike that I got for me was a BMW, and there's the tuning of them. I get on other bikes and I just want to get back on mine, and I've had I had 1, 2, I don't know. I've got 3 sitting out here right now. So I don't know how many BMWs I've owned, quite a few. Every one of them is a little bit different, but they all have like same tuning, positioning, and that I like it, But I got a K1600 I'm going to sell. That sucker, it's a true touring bike. It weighs about 850 pounds, 1600 cc's, and yeah, it'll do 200 2 up. It's just frightening. I don't know if I'd do that fast. I'd never find out. I don't have the kahunas for that kind of speeds, but it just screams. And but it's just too big. I don't. Yeah. I was coming down a country road one time, and I was behind this car, just relaxing, enjoying the ride, and this Harley came up behind me. He's country road riding too, and he just come up, and as he got alongside of me, he just cracked it and took off. I'm like, what? You're in a Harley. I hit mine, and I was on his ass before he knew what was going on. Of course, at about that time, I was like, oh, it's spring. If I remember right, the tires on here aren't too good, so I backed it off. But yeah, it's just it's unbelievably fast. But my RS, it's lightweight. You get in the mountains, and I'm a big fat old man, but I still like that carve. I don't carve as hard, but it just feels right. You just push on that handlebar a little bit and lean it out and throttle up and yeehaw. So yeah.
I would like to travel up the 101 the entire way, all the way up in Northern California. That's like maybe from like San Francisco on up.
No, you got to do it all the way. You got to do it all the way.
I think that would be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Stop in Carmel.
My wife's sitting here. She says, stop in Carmel.
So y'all have done that one before?
I did that run on my bike. I got into Washington, went up into the Olympics, and that's as far northwest as you can go in the United States, at least the continental, 48, lower 48. And then shot down, followed the coast and bounced off a little bit to go through some redwoods and then back on the coast all the way into Santa Monica, and then got through LA and San Diego. So yeah, I got pictures at right at the in the Olympics, right on the northwest corner where the sound comes out, and I got pictures at the wall in San Diego on the border on the water. So,
how long did that trip take?
Oh, that whole trip, I was on the road 7 weeks. Yeah, I could have stretched it out. There was so much more. I really wanted to get down into Texas and go toward El Paso and up into the mountains there, and never got to do it. It was just cut across the top and then headed into Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. There's something special about touring and just riding like that, and always just have some gummies and shit. You never know. You camping out in a campground, and there's always somebody smoking, you know.
Yeah.
And they're all, you know, you
Yeah.
talk motorcycles and shit, and yeah, camping.
Yeah.
And I always got to tell them about my 4-inch cot.
I mean, I'd be proud of that sumbitch. I would be. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep. I've broken a couple down, so you know this one's holding up.
I mean, I got a 4-inch cot over here behind me. I mean, he's fucking already been yelling in my ear over here.
Yeah. So no, we're having some fun at the seed cellar. It's busy season. We got seedlings going, and damn, they look good. We've got, I don't know, a few hundred of them, at least 12 strains, probably 16, I think. And we're popping them every week, and we can ship. So that's important too.
Are you still doing clones?
Never did clones. Well, I did clones when I had the dispensary, and they were a hot mess.
I thought they were. I thought y'all were selling clones, or y'all were.
No, God.
You'll be able to ship seedlings. That's what, right?
Seedlings. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Just
I couldn't remember. I've been high since last.
Yeah. Well, you know, seeds. The plant has a tap root that goes deep and keeps in the water and the moisture, and you got your upper set of roots. A clone, you know, you cut that stem off, and it's a little piece, and that's where all your roots come out of,
Yeah.
and they just don't get as big, you know, like a seedling will, and seedlings will take off and grow like crazy. Once you get them established, they're gone. Love them. So anyway, we decided to go ahead and compete with the clones, and we've got a bunch, and like I say, we're cracking them every week, and getting it more and more streamlined. And I was just amazed today. Walked in because I haven't seen them since Saturday. How much they've changed and grown. It's just they're beautiful.
Yeah. Nathan, I know you're from the same state that I am. How do you grow, or do you have a connection?
So yeah, I got a connection. So I don't have the time to grow. I should. I grew up farming, and I even have a garden here, so I probably should. And I got the acreage.
Yeah, have you grown tomatoes?
Oh yeah, we do it
almost
every year.
There you go.
He was basically an Amish kid.
Tomatoes and cannabis, they love the same feed structure, moisture, all of that.
Yeah, they're almost identical.
Yep, and if you put some autos out there with your tomatoes, they're not going to get all that much bigger probably won't even get as big as some of your tomatoes, depending on what you're growing. And there it is. You know, I got a friend that's in Detroit, and he has grown autoflowers now for years, and he's a big gardener, and he has his tomatoes out there, and he just puts them in between, and he's just so proud he's never been ripped off. No one has ever robbed him, stole his plants, and because they just blended in with his tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Here. That gets me intrigued.
It's
I like that.
I don't know if you knew, but I grow most of my stuff other than, but I grow indoor just because of where I live, and it's not legal here either. So, and you know, but
it almost is.
It won't be too long, but yeah.
I mean, you can get, what is that grade stuff you can
Delta 8.
Yeah, Delta 8 or whatever they call it. It looks like the real stuff. I've never even tried it because I've asked them, and they were like, "Yeah, it's kind of gross."
I've had the Delta 8 gummies, and they don't do shit to me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's apparently legal here.
So what they're doing is making THC out of hemp through extraction, but while doing that, you're only getting one cannabinoid. So like when you smoke a joint, you're getting like anywhere from like 90 to 60 cannabinoids depending on the strain. When you do that, you get one. You get Delta 8.
Yep. It's like Marinol. Yeah. Marinol is the marijuana drug that they give for to cancer patients for appetite. and everybody that has had it has hated it, and it's just pure THC.
I mean, it has an effect, but it's not the same at all.
No, it's not. No. And
Boy, right there. That
yeah,
dude can cook a steak right there. I ain't gonna lie. That dude can cook a steak right there.
Terry's my hero.
T Diddy can cook now.
hey, Kate, how many different strains of seedlings do we have going? Just number wise.
Oh, she muted? Oh, she muted. She muted?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. I think we have like 20 different varieties of seedlings. I could check really quickly.
No, that's all right. 20 is, good round number if we got 22 or 18, so.
Yeah, it's around there somewhere. We have a pretty good selection of them, like a pretty good variety.
You got Nate up there thinking about, God dang, I can grow tomatoes like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
Dude,
they
I grow
actually
like
grow
40
really similar to
plants a
tomatoes.
year. 40 tomato plants a year, usually like 3 or 4 rows of them
Dude,
across
if you
from
can
my
grow
corn.
tomatoes,
So is there a problem with any of the other plants? Because, I got corn, I got peppers in the same garden. Now, they're not super close. The corn and the tomatoes are side by side because they don't interfere with each other.
yeah, no, they
Not too
like
much.
marijuana likes companion planting just like other stuff does. The only thing you want to avoid having it around is like squash plants or cucumbers because it'll get powdery mildew really easily from them. But like it likes growing around tomatoes, and it needs like similar calcium magnesium requirements as tomatoes. Like like lots of people use the tomato CalMag for growing pot. But yeah, no, they're really easy. And like, how you can like bury a tomato plant and it'll root up the stem and stuff.
Yeah.
Pot does the same thing. So I actually use it as like an example. A lot of times, like if you can grow a tomato plant, you can grow pot. They grow real similar.
That's awesome.
There you go. And all you do is get some seeds and
yeah, I got a big old garden over here. So that's
can tomatoes?
awesome. Oh yeah,
we used to have
go ahead.
Oh, we used to have a greenhouse here, and we grew because I have an outlet for it. And now, because of the law changes and everything, the chickens, I have a chicken coop on one half of it. My wife has vegetable garden on the other half. So, yeah, I just grow some autoflowers in my office just to play with and smoke. I think I've got like 4 little jars sitting out in our break room for everybody from the last grow. So yeah, I think I mentioned that to you guys because they just took it down and dried it and stuffed it in this plastic box, and there it sat in my office. It's being dried out really bad, but I took it home and trimmed it up, and some of it smells pretty good.
Is she striving again?
Yeah, we're getting it going. Oh.
You're saying you canned your tomatoes though?
So yeah, I grew up. We canned a lot of the stuff. So we canned green beans, tomatoes. We did pickles. So a lot of the canning. I haven't done a ton of the canning now, but we still do a little bit of it. And then we also dry them too. We have those air dryers, multi-layered, and we make beef jerky with it, and then all kinds of drying. We can dry anything in it. A little bit of heat, and it's got a fan in the bottom of it. So we do that. Just all of it, trying to keep up. It's more hobby now than anything, than what it was very serious when we were younger, but it's, our family and the way we were raised, it was more serious. But now it's kind of just, well, we've got to do it because we have kids now and we want to show them how to do it. And
now it's like a novelty.
We're not living off of it or anything. So,
Dude, I'm laughing because my mom used to make us go pick currants. I don't know if anyone knows what those are, but they're like tiny little berries. They pop really easily and they stain red, and they're like just like a fucking pain in the ass to pick. And she would make us pick currants like we had to live on that fucking jelly. Like it was the only jelly we were going to eat, and it wasn't. It was just like a fun thing that we would do, but like the seriousness of canning with my mom was like, or like making pickles with my grandma. She was so serious about it. And now, yeah, it's like you like to show your kids how to do it.
oh yeah,
But
dude,
it's
yeah.
not
You never know when shit's gonna hit the fan, and you need to know how to plant stuff. You know, you never know. It could happen. So I think it's a good skill to have in your back pocket.
It is.
And if you know how to plant stuff, you can survive anything.
Yeah, I would say one giant solar flare, and you better know how to plant and hunt.
Yeah, you're not gonna have any communication, nothing.
And that's not even
Or-
something like we do to ourselves. That's just something that naturally has happened before and could happen again.
Oh, absolutely.
Jasper's got his conspiracy theory videos going again.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Solar flares aren't a conspiracy.
it could be an EMP from China.
Now that's a conspiracy. But solar flares are real.
Look up Havana syndrome, Jasper, if you want to worry about something new today.
I've read into it.
Oh boy.
What's that?
I've read into it.
Fucked up, right?
It is. They're super
We
fun.
talk about anything here, Nathan. Weed, fucking.
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah,
How
it's that hour.
How
It's that hour.
Cletus cheated. How fucking everything. We don't give two fucks.
Yeah. I saw a comment that literally said that said Cletus should not run the next event because he cheated everybody out.
What did Cletus do? I need to hear the racing drama.
Well, Nate, they ran an all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive shootout on the big end, and there was a dry burnout, and all-wheel drive ended up winning. And hold on, let me put you on.
And a dry burnout means what?
They had to do a dry burnout.
What is
None
that?
of the racers complained, just all the fans did.
Yeah, it's so
found
basically
some.
when you do a burnout, you usually have your tires need to
Some.
be wet, and then you get them hot, and they expand, they heat up, and then they get tacky. And they don't. They're did on the front side, on the top end of the track. So, and everybody knew that coming in. That's been that way since they've been doing them. And all-wheel drive came in and cleaned house, and he was the winner. And he threw up 20. How much in the air? How much he throw up in the air?
It was $20,000.
$20,000 he threw up in the air that he won, and the wind caught it.
The wind caught it.
So they got
kinda took it
$3,900
away.
worth of trees out there somewhere out there on the big end of
Came up 3,900 short.
Yeah, $3,900 short. Hold on, we got a picture of it too.
It feels cool when you're throwing it, but you feel like a real asshole when you're like picking up
Yes,
bills that
exactly.
Yeah, but
getting
either way,
win.
it's a legendary story from here on out. Like, what's that worth? It's priceless.
I agreed. It was worth it. It was worth it. I don't know if I'm going to throw it that high again, though. I don't think I'm going to
That's
do
something
that.
I would do. Oh no!
I was in the moment. I got excited.
Yes.
There it is.
You didn't toss it. You fucking hucked it, huh?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, and the wind. He threw it up as high. I
It
don't know
went
how
like
that.
30 feet in the air.
Yeah, it probably like 20 feet in the air, and then it went. It was like. As soon as it went over.
The wind took it.
I
The
know.
wind was actually pretty bad.
Because Kate, I was waiting for the wind because the wind was I knew the wind was kind of swirling. So I was fixing to fire up. And then I was like, and they're over there taking their pictures and stuff. So I fired it up and I'm hitting it. And then I don't know. I seen all y'all get on y'all's wing. I don't know what that was, I guess. But it was a good
We
deal.
had to take a little gay wing photo.
So Manuel's a guy that kind of was in charge of all the all-wheel drive people. He's the king of being troller, and he is on it this week on that stuff. It was a good time. They ran. He won a $16,000 side bet, and then an $8,000 grudge race the night before.
I put 2,000 of that 16 up, so I got 2,000 extra.
Oh yeah. So does that count extra? Does that add to the
that's extra. Yeah, that's extra.
But was that 2,000 one that flew in the air or not? You don't know.
No, I didn't throw the 2,000 because I hadn't gotten it from him yet, or it would have gone in the air too.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
It was just whatever was in my hand, which was the 4 stacks that Cletus had. So Manuel told me, he kind of says it quietly because he's standing right in front of me. He said, throw the money, Nathan. And I said, oh, okay, I got to throw the money. So I hand off the trophy to my son, and I start undoing the belts off of the $5,000 little stacks so I could throw them all up. And Manuel tells me, no, don't do it. He like changes his mind when I start undoing them. And then Cletus was like, no, do it. Come on, throw the money. So they encouraged me, and I had to do it. It was good. It was great.
And you got the Bald Eagle trophy, which is that right there.
Yeah, there you go. There's my gay wing photo.
Man, that trophy is sweet, though.
It is neat, and what makes it a trophy, obviously, super cool is how hard it is to get it. And we worked hard over here to get this one. We really did. The last probably 4 months, about 3 months before this race, we were doing nothing but testing. And most of it was on the street because that's where you could find asphalt very easily. So you had to do it in the middle of the night. And a lot of those were with Manuel and Gringo. And a lot of them were with just me and my son. So up all night long, night after night after night after night after night. Some of y'all have seen the videos, just trying to get every single thing worked out as much as and then once I thought it was fast enough, I was like, no, it's got to be a little bit faster. Oh, yeah. And it worked out for me.
Okay, what do you do to make the car faster?
I didn't catch that. What's that?
So what do you even do to make the car faster?
Tuning. So mainly with the chassis. So just high powered drag. Yeah, high powered drag vehicles need shock settings. There's 2 different shock settings per shock. And then you have 4 links that can be adjusted to infinity, both front and rear on an all-wheel drive. So you have double the 4-link setup work to do on an all-wheel drive that you do on a 2-wheel drive. Because they don't have 4-link up front. They're just adjusting, I think, shocks up there. I might be speaking out of my ass there about 2-wheel drive, but definitely 2 4-links. It's just a bunch of little stupid stuff without boring you with the details. It's a bunch of little tweaks here and there to make it grip and go down the track. You can see the weight bar hanging off the back and the wing. All of that is to get the back end pushed down. And the bar is so that you don't have to drag a bunch of dead weight. But the further it's extended out over its fulcrum, obviously, it's going to...
And that's a diesel truck.
The least amount of weight you have to use to make it work. So you're not dragging a ton of weight with you, but it's working really good. Like it's 1,200 pounds, but it's only 100 pounds. So it works really good on the start line. And then down track, the wing takes over once things start really moving. That wing is about 600 pounds, if I remember right, looking at the chart. 600 pounds of downforce at like 130 miles an hour. So just a bunch of stupid stuff like that. And then you're running the
probably
whole
what, about 300 at 100?
And I think it's 400 at 100 miles an hour.
400 at 100 miles an hour. Son of a bitch. We kind of have it designed for one on mine right now.
So you make
And
it
they make
faster by
the
having it.
bigger
So
one.
on mine, I'm hooking it to the rear end. How is yours run to the
Okay.
chassis?
Yeah, like Charles does.
Yeah,
Team
kind of
Bigger.
like Charles
Yeah.
does. We're a little different, but same concept.
Right. I like it. I mean, I thought about doing it, but it's
I
kind of
think
working
always
right
send
now.
it.
So
Beasley and
Yeah.
them do it too on the rear end.
oh, they do it too. Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, it's a brilliant concept. I love it.
I just figured
So
it would be less likely to want to wheelie through the finish line.
That too. Yep. Because you heard, you know what happened to Casey Max
Yeah, for
when he
sure.
put a wing on when he put a wing on his.
Yeah, way back
That's
years
why
ago,
Nick
Nick Puyak stayed at my house for a couple days because we were racing up here. And he shared a ton of his data from his wing. And it was pretty similar.
they work. They're huge. You know, they're not small.
No.
They're huge, and they make a bigger one than what I have. They make a carbon fiber version that's a lot deeper. And
Is that the
thing's
dual
sweet.
foil?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all those
Really,
Subarus
really,
driving around do something.
What's that?
I said all the like Subarus and Hondas driving around with those big spoilers, like those do something.
Yeah.
Besides looking really cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's more for a spoiler on the car like that is more for gas mileage, I think.
I think it's for picking
my
up
wing
ladies.
is the spoiler just
Audio.
a wing like the trucks out there at the race.
Good Lord.
Oh, that was so close. Man, that's close. I didn't realize it was even that close. Wow.
I stopped it too close. God dang. I won't be able to get it now.
Yeah, well, you had it pretty good there for a second. There you go.
Right there.
There it is. I mean, that had to have been a foot.
But yeah, but Garrett's coming on too. Garrett's on the scramble too. And Andrew knew what you were running. And he was all like, he came up to this, and I think he posted it. He goes, I guess I can't. I ain't got nothing for that. He goes,
The whole world knew what he was running.
Yeah, and
we were sharing it in so many groups.
I mean, they just knew they didn't have nothing for that.
I got a screenshot of. Let me see what it says. Like I got a screenshot of your message.
After I beat Gringo in the second round, that's when I kind of realized if I don't screw up, I think I got this.
I know when you knocked out the winner, or one of the heavy hitters of last time. I was like, oh boy. And then what was
it? When I was like, just calm down. Don't do anything stupid.
You had the shitty burnout. Was it the semifinals or was that the?
Yeah, that was a semifinal. So that scared the crap out of me. So in the tuning software, apparently if I go to the floor wide open throttle too quickly, right? Because a diesel, you don't go wham like that. You go real slow with the pedal. That's why they spool up. That's not all the way to the floor. You go real slow and bring in the fuel nice and easy. If you smash it, it can overburden everything and put too much stuff out. But anyway, I was rushing it for, I don't know why, I didn't even realize I was. But apparently I was rushing it and going a little faster to the floor than I normally was. And for whatever reason, the software starts race time when you do that. And when the race time starts, it was at a certain point, it was hitting lockup because lockup and all my stuff is on race time. And so essentially they thought I was trying to make a pass, and the converter locked up on me and was dragging the engine back down before it could spool up. So it was kind of weird. It wasn't a motor issue, it wasn't a nitrous issue, it was a tuning issue that I didn't know was even possible, and I fixed it the next round by just being patient again with my foot. So it was a driver error, essentially. And I didn't realize if you mash it to the floor immediately that it starts race time. I don't know why it does that, and I'm going to talk to S&S Motorsports, the guys who set up the firmware, the Motec firmware, and see if they can change that, because I think that's kind of silly. But that's a little above my tuning head. I can tweak power and fuel and tune the nitrous and transmission shift points and lockup and things like that, but I can't I can't go in and figure out firmware issues. So not yet. It's a little bit above my pay grade there with the tuning.
So that was
the on-site's tuning.
So that was a screenshot of in our group chat. It was a screenshot of some group chat you were in, commenting on what you were doing.
Who had that screenshot?
I don't even know. I'd have to dig back through. It was in a group that I was in called Cletus Race Updates. And they were like, it was videos of each round. And we were all like talking.
Was it from the big end? Videos from the big end or the down front end?
They were all over.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I'm trying to figure out where they were. Videos for
he always says only bring 2 people or whatever, but there's always a ton of people there.
Yeah.
You can't ever help that.
I know.
You just pray that it's not as bad as that street race.
Oh boy. Yeah.
They tried to throw. It happens up here sometimes. You get too many spectators, and you just already know it's going to fail.
Yeah. What's the flavor of the month, Kate, for seeds?
April starts. Hold on, I knew I wouldn't remember. I brought my little calendar out.
I'll smoke to that. Yeah, me too.
Oh, you're gonna get greenhouse freebies if you get greenhouse seeds. Autoflowers 15% off for part of the month. 420 orders get 420 freebies. Moscas are 15% off. And then in-house is the breeder of the month. So if you use the code IH20, like in-house 20, you can get 20% off in-house. Or the 15% with limpies off. That's a good one. I said I saw someone earlier ask like why plants herm. And like back in the day, it probably was genetics. Now it is almost always like a stress herm. So like light or
heat.
Feeding them real heavy. It
is. I learned that on my very first grow.
Getting light when they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Tiny light leaks can cause problems.
Yeah. Any storm damage like Jasper experienced?
I did not. Jasper, what do you have? Are you in the dark right now? You got no power?
Yeah, that's why I'm in the truck on my phone and probably can't even barely hear what I say most of the time.
was wondering, but I was like, sometimes you're just out doing weird shit. But it just occurred to me that you're probably powerless down in Eaton Rapids.
Yeah.
No, we had it was like super strong winds and shit, but we lost power for a little bit in the middle of the night. Like I don't know how long it was, enough to fuck our, all the clocks up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to change.
I was just going to say, hopefully they fix it. Yeah, change it.
So, something that has always amazed me about Limpy is your ability to remember at the starting line exactly who needs to go first or second, and exactly what's a turbo car and what's not. Like you are perfect at that. Not screwing. And I'm used to screwing. I'm from Austin, all right. That amazes me. So I'll just say that about you. That freaking amazes me. I've noticed that for a long time. I'm like, how in the world does he not? I flagged a race one time for Josh, and he was like, I lost my marbles. I couldn't remember anything. I was like, everybody's looking at me.
And you do when if I don't smoke no weed, if I cut, and then because I don't smoke whenever I'm working, to try to make unbiased, so if I'm fucking high and somebody else say, oh, he's fucked up, he can't even make the right call, so I don't want that on me, so that's why I say. But sometimes I'll do forget, and then I'll turn around and then I'll be like, I did this past weekend. I screwed up one time, and it was because I was talking to myself. Oh, he needs to bump. He said he wants to bump twice, and it's oh no, he doesn't. He wants to come in first, but then I screwed it up. It happens.
I guess you're human after all.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. Practice makes perfect.
I got another question. I got a question for you. Will you do some more OG cash dates, or at least like one big one a year or something in the DFW air, like an invite only for the serious
all
guys?
mine are invite only. Real one, invite only. I don't make posts on social media to look for attention. I still remember street racing is illegal, so I ain't gonna make a post about it.
Right.
Women, and I'm gonna do it just like I always do it. I'll get 4 guys and and they got to bring 4 cars. I don't know. I had an Austin guy down there that was supposed to bring 4 cars, and he kind of like just fucking dipped out. He didn't even fucking come to the race, or I guess he thinks he's the type of guy that he thinks he's better than us. So makes fun of DFW. So we don't want him down here. We don't want him up here anyway. So
I'd be a huge fan of an OG Limpy cash days.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would. That's me watching those giant monster burnouts from Big Chief or Daddy Dave back in the day on the streets on YouTube, after the fact, it was incredible. I'd never dreamed in a million years I could actually go and be a part of something like that. So that's pretty cool, and I'd like to see something like that back.
I mean, what were you, like 10 back then?
Yep. Yep. But I loved it, and I wanted to be a part of it. It was cool.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do something. We're gonna be doing something.
So
we got some guys that do stuff here, and I've kind of passing the torch, sort of, and but I still want to do 1 or 2 maybe a year. That's it. Just like I was intended to do originally,
right.
2 or 3 or 4 a year, and then that's it. And then you go somewhere else.
No.
Big ones.
Yeah, now you got one every single weekend in every single city. Just about. Yeah. Maybe 3 or 4 sometimes.
Look what you started.
Weekend.
Oh yeah.
Limpy, I like how you said maybe 1 or 2 a year, and then you immediately said 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You're like, double it.
Well, I mean, they are they are stressful because I mean you got people coming from all over the country to street race, and you don't want to have. Say, I went to a street race this past weekend in Florida, and it was a shit show.
That was bad.
It was bad.
That was bad.
Why? What makes it a shit show?
There was no organization. There's no
one spot.
Well, they had 2 spots, but they were like 3 miles down the road from each other.
So one spot.
There was no urgency. There was no.
Wait, what's a spot?
I'm sorry.
You said there's like one spot, but they're miles away. What's a spot? Like a starting spot?
Yeah, like where you race bet.
So we got to switch roads. So like if the cops come, we got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
They usually don't arrest anyone. They just kick us out.
Yeah.
So then we load up, go somewhere else, and try to finish this race. And sometimes, I mean, on a bad night, you might move 5 times. On a good night, you don't move at all.
Yeah.
Seven times if you're in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
that's a real bad night.
That's a bad night,
and then you take the good and the bad, and that's life. But
I mean,
organization helps.
It was almost a 2 hour or an hour and something before we even seen the first race. We'd been sitting there after the driver's meeting.
So like you kind of want everyone to show up on time, but they tend to never do. Yeah. I just don't know what to say, man. You want everyone to be included, and someone's running a little late, so you wait. And like really ideally you'd get there and within 30 minutes you're doing a chip draw, and within an hour you're running. And then you can get a lot more done, but they're very loud, and you have regular people driving by, and you have Karen drive by and she calls the cops, or said worker at whatever industrial park we're in, or so on and so forth.
Yeah. My only real frame of reference for like imagining any of your race stuff is like terrible movies like Grease. But it's like I do kind of like imagining you guys like.
Yeah, I mean it'd be something like that.
Snap fighting.
Well, I mean, first off, that's not a terrible. Well, Grease is terrible, but like American Graffiti's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I had to watch Grease every day for 9 months when my daughter was born. My wife watched that every fucking night. Grease.
That's divorce worthy, man.
I was giving them Hell Rodell in my sleep. It was bad. It was bad.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you have multiple spots. Someone doing it right has security, meaning they have someone down at where you get into this place, letting people know, hey, the cops are coming down here, get them off the road,
or to keep us in, whatever.
Keeping us safe, making sure people aren't at the end, like a ton of people at the finish line trying to watch.
Cheering pedestrians out of the way.
Fans will treat it like a rally race in another country.
Interesting. It's surprising to me that there's so many of you that you can do it all the time,
Yeah.
It is somewhat kind of crazy.
Like I would never think. I just want to go like full hog down some fucking side street to see if I can go faster than someone else. It's like never occurred to me.
Drag racing started in the streets pretty much.
Racing started when the second car was built.
Yeah, 2 people. You just always wanted to go faster than someone else.
So yeah. I mean that's when street races actually started, if you want to get technical.
Wasn't racing like like the Dukes of Hazzard, wasn't it like prohibition related?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a story in racing also, but really like some of the first races, I think it was 1908 or 1910, Henry Ford raced Nikola Tesla in his electric car. Yep. Henry Ford raced to get his license to build cars. Raced like other companies around a circle track. Like racing's just always been a part of it. I mean, people raced horses before they had cars. And before that, they ran to outrun dinosaurs.
And before that, the only oldest profession more than racing?
Prostitution.
And and
Yep.
it is what it is. It is what it is, people. I'm here to say it right now. You're paying for it one way or another, so either or. I mean, shit. Roger knows what's up. Roger knows what's up.
Hey.
And Robert
then
chimes
some.
in with a knowing chuckle.
Yeah.
You heard? Yeah, that's right. That's right, Ed.
Well,
You
I mean,
heard?
Limpy and Roger watched that race between Tesla and Henry Ford.
One of my favorite Henry Fordisms is that he would say that you can have the Model T in any color you like so long as it's black.
Yep.
Yep.
And I appreciate that level of assholery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nathan, how many power adders do you use? 6?
It
What's
would
a
be
power?
It would be technically 2 because it would be turbo and nitrous.
Okay, yeah, turbo and nitrous. Oh yeah, that is true. It has
So
a
A
it's
power
technically
adder is
2.
just anything that adds power to your car.
But
Yes.
in most
That's
diesel
adorable.
rules, the turbo is automatic. It's part of the engine kind of thing. So it would be
okay.
technically only 1 power adder. But
That's why I had
really
a
have
guy
2.
ask me one time we couldn't have 2 power adders, and he had a turbo and nitrous, and I said, well, that's 2 power adders, and I guess that was coming from the diesel world, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, if it comes from the factory with a turbo on it, but I mean, technically, it is. It's 2 power adders. It is. It's kind of like this whole twin versus compound setup, or if you call a compound setup twins, it's not really twins, but technically, twins just mean it's 2 different turbos. So it doesn't matter if it's compound setup. You know what I mean? It's wordplay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. So
How many
technically, 2
kinds of
power
other
adders.
power adders are there?
There's compressed
Well,
air,
there'd be-
there's nitrous, there's supercharger, and there's turbo. And I
Yeah.
guess
Just
propane? Is propane a thing for diesels?
It is. So yeah,
What-
there's another
what
one.
the-
We don't use it with the common rail stuff because it advances the timing too much because it's a catalyst, or it's not a catalyst.
Okay.
It's an actual fuel. It's an explosive or whatever. Nitrous is just a catalyst, so it doesn't add a ton of timing.
Okay.
Not like the propane. The propane adds too much timing, so much more efficient to use nitrous.
Once Ryan gets that stuff figured out, man, he's probably gonna be on a different level.
That dude's so smart.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He can do whatever he wants, and in the last minute, and the thing just works. He made the best pass first round out of anybody there as far as 2-wheel drive goes.
Yeah.
So, and he said that's from him, not me. So
I'll be right back. My cat attacked my child, so.
Oh boy.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, the compressed air is definitely going to be a game changer, I think.
So him
It takes
talking about
weather, it takes elevation, it takes everything out of the equation and just makes it consistent.
So wild. So wild. That's crazy to me. And he can run crazy timing because of it.
Yeah, and it runs
Pretty
cold.
wild. Yeah. Very cold. That's what nitrous does to our diesel motors. It's what lean it out and spray the house down. We're looking at like poundage. We're weighing the bottles and trying to flow as much as possible. Right before this race, I want to say it was 2 weeks before the race, I went to Nitrous Outlet and they drilled out 2 of their biggest kits and reworked them to flow even more. And we put big 1/4-inch size nozzles, and the jets were 200s each. Those were my last 2 kits, and every kit is on by I think about 2.8 seconds into the run. So and I have the big kit on my button on my scramble button, and it adds 50 milligrams of fuel, which is about 6 milligrams is equivalent to, no, I'm sorry, 1 milligram is equivalent to 6 horsepower. So that was what, about 250 horsepower? If I do the math, did I do the math right? Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
So that was about 250 horsepower on the button. Plus, I was adding that 5th kit, the biggest one, with it whenever I push it. So it'll come in at a certain time, or if I push that button, it'll come in immediately when I add that extra fuel. And that's, if y'all watch the video, you start seeing me really pull away. That's me hitting the button. And I was doing that all day because I had practiced that over and over and over and over again to hit the button right after it went from the 1 to 2 shift, because I didn't want to hit it on the 1 to 2 shift. You can do some funny things there. And I practiced hitting it right after it every single time. Bam. And because I didn't know what the track was going to take. So, you want to come with that scramble button. And I just used it all day because I was like, this is working. Don't even change. I could have just added that scramble button into the tune and just left it there. But I didn't even want to do that because it was working and it's fun to push buttons. So I pushed the scramble button all day. Soon as second gear hit in, scramble button. And it was like clockwork. And after you get past the first round, all nerves go away. All nerves are completely gone, and you're in there just going bang, 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 and it just, everything comes back to you exactly like it's in practice. So it's the first round that will get people, or at least me, I can speak for myself, but first round is what will get you rattled. Because you're just amped up. I mean, you've practiced for months. You've done all these things, and you're all these things are going through your head. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't let off the button early. Just watch his head, but then look back up track. Don't look at Ryan as he's coming past you. Stay looking ahead. Don't oversteer the thing. Don't grip the steering wheel too hard. And then you're like, just shut up, just do it. And then after that, everything's just like, okay, this is fine. I got this. So pretty dope. And it'll do that probably for most of my life. I don't think I'll ever just go up first round on a big race and be all calm, cool, and collected. I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think it'll ever hopefully really affect me. Hopefully I can control that. But
War in the Woods is super wild like that. Every time I'm at War in the Woods, man, when you're pulling in, because it's got a really short shutdown. So like I'm practicing my shoot mount. You come burning out through all these people.
Yeah.
It's a wild atmosphere. Like you just see people as far as you can see in any direction. There's just people just piled on each other watching. And then, like you said, kind of after first round, it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. And then the sun starts going down. So my favorite thing in the world is like a little river or yellow belly as the sun's going down. That is, and it's starting to get cooler. The track's the best it'll ever be. And you can make all the power in the world, which I don't need that. Good grief. I have a problem with power management. And that's been my problem as things go down. But I think I'm learning how to pay attention to the weather and move it. And that's the only adjustment I did all day at the race, was a little bit of extra fuel after the 60-foot to compensate for the loss in horsepower and a little bit of boost, I guess you could say, or just the quality of air was hotter. And so it wasn't as much oxygen, and added a little bit of fuel to compensate for that, and ran essentially the same number every pass except for against Gringo. And Gringo was the one I barely won, and that was my slowest pass. I ran a 31 against him, and it's because my truck short shifted. It went 1-2 and then 2-3 immediately. So I got that fixed.
What do you think caused that?
So the Motec software, the way they've got it set up to shift my truck, I don't really like it, to tell you the truth. It was based off of RPM and time, and I can change it, but I just haven't done it yet. It's just the way it's set up, where if the RPMs ramp up too quick or you get a little bit of wheel speed, it's reading, like I have it set to shift at, I think, 56 or 5700 RPMs. And if it hits that, shifts down, and it goes right back up and hits that number again, it will shift immediately. And since I don't have lockup, because it's a slick surface, I don't have lockup until way out, because it'll spin, too much wheel speed, that RPM stays up real high. And so it's reading it as it needs to shift again.
So
Because my RPMs really,
you can't set it with a
the
1,
RPMs
2.
really aren't dropping, in other words. And so it's trying to shift again because of that. I made a dip in the graph, or in the map. I made a dip in it and made it work. I got some advice from Chris Buheider, who helped me build a truck. And he was like, my truck did the same thing, and we made this little dip in here. So I did that, and it fixed it for the time being. But I thought I already had it fixed because it's done it a couple times to me. So that's something that, as it gets faster, becomes an issue, maybe. So I need to get that figured out. I don't like the way it's set up to shift. It needs to be completely independent. I need to have two different maps that control the 1 to 2 and that control the 2 to 3 or whatever. I need to have.
Yeah, that's why I was saying in Fuel Tech you would control 1, 2, and 2, 3, and however many you have. And you can
Right.
set a different RPM for each one. So like you could bump the 2 shift up 200 so it didn't catch it or whatever. But
yeah, and you can kind of do that with this. And I tried it, and it just started doing the short shifting thing. This is recent. This is like the last 2 weeks. I want to say it's done it 3 or 4 times to me.
Yeah.
And it knocks, half of a tenth off, 500ths of a second when it does that. And it's, it's torquey, so it pulls itself out of it, but it doesn't get under the turbo. It's got enough nitrous going through it. It doesn't get under the turbo or anything, but it pulls those RPMs way down.
yeah.
So like 4,000 to 4,000, and that's not good. That's not what you want on these. You don't want the low end grunt. It makes too much torque, and it'll blow the top of the motor off, and like 15, 16 feet in the air.
Well, gentlemen,
So-
I'm going to call it a night. You guys have a good rest of the evening. And if I don't talk to you by next week, we'll talk next week.
All right,
Yes,
Roger.
sir.
Have a
Good
good
meeting
one,
you,
buddy.
Roger.
All right. You take care.
You keep that 4-inch cod happy.
I will do my best.
Oh man, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Roger's awesome.
Seed seller, right there.
Yeah, we race the Gangsters Paradise race has been at Wagler for the last couple years or whatever, and I've tried over and over again at the campfire to get Wagler to put a diesel in my car. It didn't work.
Do you like the Duramax? Because they do mostly Duramax. Is that what you
I have no
like, or
idea. I
do you-
just said put your really sweet one in my car and I'll run it in no prep and see if I can make it work. But
That's awesome. Yeah, they make really, really good stuff over there.
I don't
The
think he
one I
wanted to
have
give out $100,000 motor. So
Oh yeah, exactly. The big billet ones are. I mean, the Cummins. That's one of the main reasons why I don't have one, because you can make just as much horsepower with the motor I have now. It'll just be on borrowed time for obvious reasons. So, and this motor actually sets the world record. I believe it still has the world record for a chassis dyno at UCC a number of years back, for horsepower. So this specific motor, I believe it still has it. If it doesn't, it's still within like 100 horsepower of the record. And to make 3,600 or whatever it made on that chassis dyno, that's like over 4,000 at the crank. So these motors make so much horsepower. It's amazing what they've been able to do with the diesels now. It's crazy. It's wild. And that's real horsepower with a fuck ton of torque. You got to manage the torque. You got to try to pull it out. That's why we run. So way back in the day, they made big, huge triple and compound turbo setups. And you see it still in the sled pulling world. And you can make this enormous amount of boost, like 200 PSI, some of them were making, 180, 150 PSI. But the motors weren't lasting. They make a crazy amount of horsepower. But now you've got, instead of one 75-pound turbo, you've got 3. And you got all the piping for it, and all of that, and all the stuff with all the oil. It's not ideal at all for drag racing. It's extremely heavy. The motor, my motor weighs 1,250 pounds. So you're going to add another, 200 pounds to that with another 2 turbos. So it's not ideal. And then it makes too much torque down low. So the single turbo knocks all that torque out of there for us and helps us get down. Because we like the horsepower, all the horsepower in the world, but we're trying to reduce the torque as much as possible, especially on the slick stuff. So no more triple and compound turbo setups. It's all single turbos with the big horsepower stuff now in the diesel world. Even the guys running 3s on the radial track, like the fire pump was a single turbo. And so much nitrous that I think Fire Punk is running like 12 pounds of nitrous through their car in one pass.
Good Lord.
A lot of nitrous.
Yeah,
and right now, the diesel record, I believe, is a 380 or maybe even a 379 if I remember right. And it's a diesel dragster. I think it's owned by Michael Cordova is his name. And he built it from pretty much the ground up with, S&S's help and everything. And so it is a dragster. It's not a door car yet, but the door cars are close. The Fire Punk boys have a Duster, purple Duster, and that thing I think has been 380s. 389 or something like that.
What motor is Ryan Milliken running?
He's running a Fleece Performance motor, if I remember right. So Fleece, big manufacturing company.
How fast is he going?
He runs duck races and things like that. I think the fastest he's been is like a 10, like a 410. I'm pretty sure he may even have a 4.0 something. He hasn't been in the 3 yet, if I remember right. But his main buddy, Rodrigo, just this last weekend went 396, I believe, in his Corvette that has a fleece motor in it, if I remember right. Yeah, it has a fleece motor in it. And it is tuned by Ryan Milliken. And he just did that. He just did that last weekend, 390 something for the first time ever for him. That's really dope Pro Mod Corvette. So, I mean, diesels, man, they're making big power. We're not doing 350s yet, but, I think we'll get there. I think so. And the billet motors, I'm still heavy, but I got room. The billet motors with a billet head and billet motor, I can do that, and I'll drop about 300 pounds by doing that. And then I could also go to an air-to-air instead of air-to-water, and that would be another 300 pounds. So I got about 600 pounds just with those 2 things that I could change. But chassis-wise, I don't really think you would want to go, not the style of racing that I do. I don't think you'd want to go much lighter. You could do a single rail in the back and things like that. on the chassis, but I wouldn't. They make too much power, too much torque. I think you'll twist things eventually. And then me trying to chase the streets, you go over a bump, or I'm almost hitting beater bomb and bouncing off a curb. Things like that. So I built mine kind of stout, a little heavy.
I was at PRI we were at PRI this week, last year, and they had a Duramax that was like the 4-cylinder, half billet block that they did, or they're doing. I don't know, man. It looked really expensive, but I think they're unveiling. That was their unveil.
Yeah,
big
it
deal.
was. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's so cool about the diesel world is we're getting such new cool stuff so quick. It's like when Kodak came out with the 1 megapixel, digital camera, and then they had 2 megapixels, and then they had 2.1 megapixels, and it was like coming out so fast you couldn't keep up with it. And I remember the first one that came out that had remember that when they rated them in megapixels? The old digital cameras.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so that's the diesel world. Even still, I mean, we're making tons of horsepower, but there's room to grow. I think there's billet. I think we already know what the cast blocks can handle. They can handle 3,500 horsepower, but they're not going to do it over and over and over again. They're just not. They're going to split in half if you keep trying to do that. So you're on borrowed time if you do that, but you can make 3,000. You can make 2,800. You can make 2,500 all day long. Easy breezy, as many times as you want. That's another thing. I need to look at my logs and count how many passes I have on this motor without touching it. I have a crap ton, probably over 100.
I mean, what's the average?
It may be even more than that.
What's the average on like tearing shit up?
Well, there's another guy that has the same motor, and he put 300 passes on it. He's been 470s in a truck that weighs about the same amount as mine. A couple of times. Has been 4s multiple times. So, and he got 300 passes out of his.
There you go.
So, and he pulled it apart with it just loose. It wasn't broken. It wasn't rot out the side. Nothing like that. It was just loosey goosey and needed a refresh.
I gotta ask.
And probably.
Do y'all have I know how they got E85 and nitrous, oxygenated fuel and blah blah. Y'all just run on whatever pump diesel?
That's right.
Or do y'all have race diesel?
No. So, Hot Shot Secret, I'm sponsored by them. Awesome guys. They just came out with a race formulated diesel. So that's the first time I've ever even heard of anything like that.
So, I mean, I've heard, got regular diesel and farm diesel. I mean, I just know they're
right. Right. And as you know, I mean, farm diesel is the same thing. It's just got dye in it.
Yeah.
So, but no, all I do is add Hot Shot Secrets R82 into the diesel, which isn't a power thing. It's not a booster. It's essentially more of a lubricant than anything. So the diesel nowadays, they took all the sulfur out of it. It's trash. It's junk. And because I've got these very, very expensive high dollar pumps, high pressure pumps, you don't want the junk, so it cleans up the diesel and makes it more lubricated so that it doesn't damage your high dollar pieces and your injectors. It it helps your injectors too. So, but other than that, it's not like a power thing. But this new race formulated diesel may. But from what I understand, the way a diesel works is if you get too crazy with the fuels to try to make it more explosive, you're just advancing the timing type of thing. It's not really
Then you got to
beneficial that
compensate for that
much.
too. Then you have to compensate for all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So, right. So it doesn't really. We can make plenty of horsepower with number 2 diesel, essentially.
Kerosene.
So,
Can y'all run that
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah, you could run that. I don't because,
I'll tell you,
it would
that
lose
burn
power,
hotter,
but yeah,
wouldn't it?
you could. Yeah,
That'd burn hotter,
it
wouldn't
wouldn't make as. What is that?
That would burn hotter, wouldn't it?
I'm not exactly sure about that, but you're probably right. Yeah, it probably would.
I figured it'd be a little bit
But
more.
no, I mean it'll run. You can even put alcohol in these things and they'll run. You can put all kinds of. The old 7.3s. They would take the old cooking oil, that you have out of your house, and pour it in and it'd drive down the road.
Yeah, I knew Mikey Unk. I think it was somebody I can't remember. Somebody around here they used to go clean all the grease traps from all the restaurants and stuff.
Restaurants.
And he would have a 55-gallon drum of. He would have 2 of them. He goes, and that's where he would drive that and go out town. Shit ton of fuel filters though.
Oh yeah, you'll gunk them up quick. You got to strain the stuff. You got to clean it out if you want a good chance of it even working. But no, I mean, if you're stuck somewhere and all you got is some rubbing alcohol or some oil, dump that thing in the tank and it'll get you a little further. Diesels are wild, man. And another thing that's wild about it is the amount of fuel that it takes, or I should say the lack thereof, that it takes to make the horsepower. It's wild. I probably use, this is a guess, but this is going off of me filling up a 3-gallon fuel cell, and I don't even look at it. I don't even think about it until a couple runs go by, and it'll still be half full. I probably use a pint of diesel to do a 150-mile-an-hour pass in an 1/8 mile.
Dang.
It's hardly anything. And that it may even be less than that. It may be like a cup. It's hardly anything. Now we use, poundage of, multiple pounds of nitrous too, but yeah, it's
You don't have to
insane.
compensate for the fuel for the nitrous or any of that stuff.
Yes, you do. So no, you do. So at that horsepower level, you want to keep the lambda or the fuel air ratio. We call it lambda because that's motor.
Yeah, I know that, but but you said earlier it was some weird number, wasn't it? 2 or something like that.
Yeah, 2.0 lambda.
Yeah, we're like, for example, Limpy in my car, like when we're putting a lot of boost in, I'm running like 0.68.
Yeah.
0.75, somewhere in that ballpark. He's running.
That would burn my motor up.
Yeah, I was wondering about the different fuels and stuff. I was like,
I like idle mine at 1.10.
I got to stop at the Loves and get some diesel because we're going to do the diesel drags. I didn't know if you could just pump, if it's pump or y'all have race diesel.
I'm idling at 10. Not even kidding you. That's how lean it is at idle.
Yeah,
literally 10 lambda. Yeah, it's wild. It's completely the opposite. Now you can tune them fat and heavy, and that's what they do in some sled pulling classes that don't allow nitrous. So the only way you can keep it cool in that regard is to overfuel it massively. It's the middle of the road that you can't be in. So you have to be extraordinarily lean, or you have to be very, very fat and heavy. And that's where you'll see the sled pullers just blowing, just like freight train black smoke all the way down the track. They have to do that. They literally have to, or they'll just burn everything down. So it's because of the rules. The rules won't allow nitrous. And so people are like, they need to learn how to tune a diesel. No, you have to do that. You literally have to. If you want to make any kind of horsepower and keep it cool, you just have to flood the motor with a bunch of fuel, and literally the unburnt fuel will keep it cool for you.
That's
So,
interesting.
and make a bunch more horsepower in the process. Some of those guys are making 4,000 horsepower at the crank on the sled pullers.
With four of them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they're wild over there. Those guys got so much money. All those farm boys, they come in there and they have 3 or 4 trucks, $1 million a piece.
It's insane.
And man, standing next to them, if you've never been to a sled pull, you have to go at least once in your life. And standing next to these trucks, it's nuts. And you'll get showered with dirt, but it'll be worth it. The sled pulls are fun. They really are. Usually done in the evening under the lights.
I'm thinking
real
about
family oriented.
We're going to be doing a diesel drag at Abilene this year, I think. But
I have to come out there. I couldn't on your first one because I had my truck set up for Cletus's race and I was laser focused on it and I just was like, don't do anything else.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of freed up a little bit.
I think it's going to be close to the July 4th thing because I'm thinking of doing like hopefully our burnout pad's going to be done by then. We're having a burnout pad made.
Oh, that would be dope. Burnout pad.
And it's going to be, well, we're going to do diesel drags. It's going to be, Fire America stuff, smoke, diesels, make the smoke and fire and fireworks, and then the burnout pad. And then I think about doing like a cook-off, on a Saturday, just make a big deal of it, because
that would be, oh, heck yeah. You know when you might do that?
No, that's July 4th weekend.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because it's going to be America. It's be like, America's supposed to be about how we do it.
Oh
right?
yeah.
You know how we do it in Texas. You know how we do it in Texas. Cook
Man, I'll be there.
And fireworks shows and smoke and racing. You know how we're going to do it. We're actually we got to go. He didn't give him the go on to start the burnout pad. So that's in the works. I think that's going to start probably here in a week or so.
That's dope. I've raced there before when it was Abilene Dragway, I think it was called.
Yeah. Big country. Big country.
Big country. That's right. Big country. Yeah. I raced there, and we actually won a race there, a diesel race. One of the diesel shops out there that actually I think they want to talk to you about maybe renting the track and doing another one of their events there. But they used to hold a race there, a diesel race, and I won out there one time.
Oh God! What's his name from up down your way? What's his name? Is it him?
I'm having a break. Yeah, it's him. I'm having a brain fart, but
he lives in Georgetown.
Scotty Bergeron.
No. I'm thinking of somebody else too. Yeah.
Okay.
Hit us up. We're doing one in May. It'll be a couple of weeks. When is it?
That looks fun. Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, 9th and 10th. Doing index stuff, and that's small tire and tailgate stuff. So I think small tire has no rule on all-wheel drive. I don't think. I'd have to look.
That'd be fun.
But it's going to be. Matt's already like
practice for.
Yeah. Well, it's probably be a little smoother. It's probably a lot smoother than War in the Woods. I would say that. But Matt's already like, God dang, we need to slow it down. He goes, I was like, well, if we scrape it, it's just going to get faster. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, anywhere where you race all the time, it's going to get faster.
Yeah.
That's
And
for sure.
that was the
Hey,
very first race. So, and it was already coming around the second day.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah, I watched. I think it was Ryan Mitchell's video on that. He went a lot faster the next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need to get out there.
Yeah. Where's Jasper go? Smile,
Yeah,
Jasper.
War in the Woods is so wild, man.
I can't see.
If I end up at War in the Woods, I don't. That's a big bucket list item right there. That's pretty cool.
I mean, I tell everybody, man, if you haven't been to War in the Woods, just go one time. I mean, you ain't got to bring your car or whatever, but most people,
Yeah.
real racers will bring their car, but there's some people that just go for the experience. I mean, there's a guy that I posted up that deal about Jeff, you know, and on the come say hi to me. And there's a guy that said that he's already going to be in, he's going to be from Australia. He's coming in the one, I think, in September. Yeah. As Ed said, you won't ever miss another one. And there, we'll be smoking down there. That's one of my, he's one of my smoke buddies. He's a sponsor with some, actually, just some E's and B's cart right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zach Pointer wants to know if you're the fastest all-wheel drive in Texas at this point. And I said, well, I'd have to say, yeah. Or truck, I guess. I think.
What did you say? What did you tell him?
I said, yeah. I mean, you'd have to be, I guess.
Yeah, technically, I think I am. Yeah, I don't because I mean, technically, all the baddest all-wheel drives were there, you know, and it's hard to find 16, you know, bad no prep all-wheel drive trucks or cars. It's hard because not a lot of them no prep. And besides popular belief, and I know y'all don't believe this, but besides the masses, what the masses think, it ain't easy to get an all-wheel drive to just go and do things. It is the pain in the rear end.
I know.
It is a royal pain. And the number
one
handicap.
Do you remember Prime back in the day? How everybody, he can't drive. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, y'all just don't know. Y'all don't understand torque steer.
Yep. That's exactly right. That thing is yanking you all over the place. It makes a shift, and you don't know which way it's going to dart.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely. And it will surprise you on the steering wheel, and you don't want to oversteer it. And then you end up oversteering it.
Mm-hmm.
And then and it's not controllable, especially if you've got like a posi or some sort of locker up front. It just tries to go in a direction and you can't get it back. It's wild. It'll scare you too. You know, that's how I had my wreck. Torque steer and spinning was the reason why I had my wreck. It threw me into the wall and then flipped me upside down. So, Zach, and it wouldn't have done that if it.
I don't know if it's the hammer or him just testing and getting it done. You know,
it was the testing.
The Thor hammer was cool though.
The Thor's hammer definitely added a touch to it for sure, and it allowed me to remove 405 pounds off the vehicle and replace it with 95. So, but that being said, I don't think I even need the hammer. I truly don't. So if Cletus wants to say, hey, look, let's not do bars anymore, I really don't think, because of the 4-link changes that we made, I don't think I needed the 405 pounds or the bar. I think the wing's enough, and I think I know I can make the thing work without the bar. So it's just more adjustment with shocks and spring set, and I need to go to lighter springs.
Yeah.
In the rear. But I can make that thing. We've got this the 4 links front and rear on point. And yeah. So I don't even think I need the bar. Not with the way top end of Bradenton is. I thought it was going to be way slicker than that. but it surprised everybody. So the way that is now, the way Top End at Bradenton is now, I really don't feel like I need the bar. If anything, it's just added weight. So get it off, get the springs, the lighter springs in the rear, which I already have them. I've got 200 pounds on there now. I've got 130s that work without the weight, and start tuning it in for that. So, but definitely I agree with you. It was the testing, because we did it and we stayed focused on it, and we didn't go to any other races. I didn't do anything else. I just focused on that and stayed focused on it, because I really wanted to win. I really did. I wanted to win and not be a slouch, and really pay respects to Garrett and what he has allowed us to do by really focusing on it and doing my due diligence to show up with a vehicle that's going to work right.
Yeah.
So, and we did it.
Yep. Prove you showed the world you did it. And now now you can't get in small tire shit, except for front
Damn it.
sides.
Dang it. Hey, we still have Garrett's race.
Yeah.
Looks like that's going to happen about twice a year. So, and we got War in the Woods, because they're not scared.
And that's twice a year.
And that's twice a year. So we look, Texas and where we live, you know this more than anybody, Limpy. I've got all the races, all the action, street, track, backside, front side that we could ask for. If anything, it's too much. So,
and then and there's, like I said, there's somebody racing every weekend somewhere.
every weekend. And you know me, I don't like puppy kicking. Never have. You've never seen me do that. I don't pick and choose my races and, I think I can beat somebody here. I'm that dumbass calling out Gringo for $2,500 on the street when I have no business doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just need to get out there and start doing it. It was my thought process there. So, but it's been a long journey with the truck, and I've had people comment about how long it's taken, but a lot of that has to do with the wreck, reset everything and set me back. But the thing is there's no blueprint at all anywhere for 4x4s, drag racing, especially no prep, and especially a diesel. So it just took forever. I didn't know what I was doing.
Learning as you go.
Exactly. You just fail and fail and fail and fail until you finally get sick of it, and if you figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, congrats on your win, and thanks for coming on. And we'll probably seeing you, and we'll probably be seeing you in the next. I don't know, wherever you decide to go to.
No, I'm coming to War in the Woods. You know it. I got to.
It's a good time, bro. It's a good time. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go. I gotta go experience it and get my feet wet, get my butt kicked. But I'll do good. I'll do good for a couple rounds for sure. I'll do good. I'll get it dialed in for it. So
just use them shoots. You have to say, use them shoots. I know you got good brakes.
Right. No, on that I will for sure.
Jasper could tell you right.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. Oh, is he stuck? Is he hung up? Check.
I'm still here. I'm not sure how I get off of this. You just.
Oh, I'll get you off. Appreciate it, bro. Are you still there? Are you asleep? I can't tell. Blink twice if you're awake. Blink once if you're not. I cracked myself up one time. Say something if you're. Oh, he's not even there. Look at that. He's not even there. I see it now. He done checked out on us. Look at this. He's pulling. He's pulling one on us. Look at this. Or did he maybe fall asleep into the car? Look at this.
The whole thing.
Oh, welcome back, dude. Hey,
Hey, what
welcome back. You're
truck-
talking to you. Blah,
The
blah,
truck
blah.
died.
I said, Jasper, blink once for if you're awake. Blink twice if you're not.
Dude, it
You
went
didn't do
horrible. So I sat here for an hour with the truck off, but all the lights on and shit.
Oh,
and so
shit.
it died. So I was like, fuck it, I'll grab my jump pack. Well, the jump pack wasn't charged and I got no power. But my high ass like grabbed the whole like plug-in battery jump box, got it all hooked up, and then realized I didn't have power. It was like, fuck. And then luckily Matt pulled in, and this dude pulls out like the worst set of jumper cables I ever seen. So I tried them, and then I had to go grab mine. I have some from like starting excavators that are really gigantic. So I got it fired up, but yeah, it was a process.
Well, I was sitting there talking, and then he couldn't even see it. And then I guess car pulled up behind you, and I looked, and all I could see was your headrest. And I was like, this motherfucker's not even in this truck. We got that's how we got shafted.
Yeah, I had to get this old girl back running, dude. It was getting cold.
I was about to say, I figured you'd run it to get it warm.
Oh, shit.
Is the whole town out of power?
Yeah, pretty much.
Y'all
We got to hit that one thing real quick, Matt.
Wait, what?
Hit that heater
Hit that pin.
with that drill or
Hit my
something.
watch.
Hit it. There we go. Good job, my man.
And it's a rigid and everything. I thought it'd be in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee didn't send me a drill.
Yeah, fuck them. What a bunch of pricks.
They did give me that pump. I never had to pay for that pump.
So I'm assuming, and I can tell you found your. No, you didn't find your keys.
I did find my keys. I also lost my keys earlier today for like ever.
Oh, no. Say it ain't so.
Yeah. And then they fell out of my pocket and I kicked them under this thing in my garage. So it took like forever.
Oh, that's where they were.
Yeah. They were under like where the fridge is when I went to make sure the heater was shut off because if the power kicked on, I didn't want the heater in the garage running. What you got? What you got? Jello shots?
Or runts. Alpha runts.
Well, I mean, you can burn the runs first. Is this all the weed we got?
Yeah.
We should probably go inside and get more weed real quick.
Man,
That's not enough weed.
well, how long we driving around?
I don't know. We don't got. It's 11 o'clock. We don't got to drive around that long. But I got to at least recharge this battery. That was pretty cool. Cleeter came on.
He working this thing? Holy shit.
Well, it hasn't been
I
running
know.
for
I kind of
hours.
figured.
Yeah,
I kind of figured he smoked, but I don't. And you know, he's from Austin area, so they keep it weird anyway. So I kind of figured he did.
Yeah, I don't know or not. But that was cool
Oh,
too.
I'm talking about Cleetus.
Hey.
Yeah, but Nathan.
Yeah,
that
that
guy's
was just
pretty
a bonus. He better show up to War in the Woods.
Yeah, that dude's pretty smart when it comes to all that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Numbers and
That was super interesting learning about all the diesel stuff too. It's pretty cool. All right, I think we're gonna bail and
oh,
we got to do all
Let
sorts of
us
running
know.
around.
you found your keys.
I did find him. See, Jeff called, and I was like so pissed off. He was laughing at me, and they fell out of my pocket, and I kicked them, and they ended up way under that fridge shelf. And at one point, I was like, "Man, I know they're somewhere." So I climbed around on my hands and knees and ended up finding them. What? Oh, Jeff's truck freaked out too. Like every single code flashed.
Oh shit!
I don't know if it was like something loose with the harness or what he ended up figuring out. Maybe just a freak out, or it did have a recall where they flashed it because it was doing weird stuff. So maybe old Rob did that for him. Robbie.
No.
Yeah, we have
Oh.
such an awesome crew. There's like a dude that'll figure out anything in some area somewhere.
All right. And I want to share one other thing. God don't know. Gerald Lyons passed away.
Yeah, that was horrible, man. Prayers for the Lions family, man. If everyone could say a prayer for them.
You definitely see him at Warren Woods, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. He reminds me a lot of Noah.
Yeah.
That's why that was like hard.
Hard.
God, that was hard to watch or see, man. That was just hard. He was a good kid.
Yeah. I believe so, Mr. Steve. I believe so. But yeah. Y'all can go. I'll copy and paste the website in there, and I'll put the link in there if y'all want to. I think they do. You can send them flowers or something like that. Do that, but I'll send the link. Y'all can copy and paste that and put it in there. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all, where will I be next? If we don't get rained out this weekend here, then I might go up to the funeral. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to see how funds are, and then I got to be back here because I'm not going to be Small Track Gangsters. I've got to.
Yeah, I'm going in.
I got to go to the track. We're doing I got a cruise that weekend, so I'll be out that way. But thanks everybody, and we'll see y'all next week, possibly.
Good night.
Later.